toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Without the letters A, B, and O, there's no mom. There's no Brittany. Because A's, B's, and O's determine your blood type. And we're missing all of them. Schedule your donation at redcrossblood.org.
Kansas here at Memorial Stadium looking for a big home win. It would be their first conference win of the year. To get it, they're going to have to beat Texas Tech. The Red Raiders coming in looking for their first road win of the year. What a game last week for Kansas. They lose to Texas by 2. Maybe the most confident team coming off a loss in the country.
Yeah, Dan, for Kansas, it's all about maintaining that offensive momentum, right? 48 points last week, 569 total yards offense, and it starts with Puka Williams. We're going to see a ton of him today, the dynamic running back from Kansas. He can pretty much do it all, man. It's going to be fun to watch. Les Miles, the new head coach for the Kansas Jayhawks. And of course, Les Miles, the beginning of a new era here, gives this team instant credibility. They think on the recruiting trail it's going to make quite a difference. This is a program that has 6 conference wins in the last decade. There's just a different feel here under Les Miles. Texas Tech also has a new head coach, Matt Wells, coming over from Utah State. He brings with him 7 coaches off of his staff from Utah State, Evan.
Yeah, Dan, he was really particular about building his staff, too. He was very open with us about, hey, these guys were all hand-selected. They fit what I was trying to do. Now I'm not teaching my coaching staff how to buy into what we're doing. And it's been a big advantage for them trying to build this program.
Texas Tech wins the toss. They have deferred to the second half. Trey Wolf kicking off, and that will be a touchback. Stephon Robinson lets it go, so we're going to get our first look at Carter Stanley, this quarterback for Kansas, coming in playing his best football of the season. 16 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions on the year, a career high 4 touchdown passes and 310 yards against Texas last week.
Yeah, you talked to offensive coordinator Brent Dearman, and his words are, he's playing lights out. He takes care of the football. He's got a very quick release, and they want that ball out on his first or second read, so look for him to make some quick decisions today.
Good decisions by Stanley have been aplenty the last few games. Goes deep downfield, not a good decision there. No interceptions in his last 3 games. Picked off the first play of the game by who else? Douglas Coleman with his 7th interception of the year. He leads all of FBS.
Well, we talked about how confident this Kansas group was coming into the game. They take a big play action post shot to Andrew Parchment. Got to be careful of Douglas Coleman roaming the back end, though. He's proven he is a ball hawk and is always able to play the ball in the air. 7th interception on the year, leads the FBS. Stanley takes a hit, not able to step into it as well. Broderick Washington, number 96 on Texas Tech, disruptive defensive tackle, getting back there making a play.
So the first interception in a long time. 4 games for Carter Stanley as SaRodorick Thompson, the talented young running back for Texas Tech, picks up 2.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see what SaRodorick Thompson's able to do against this defense today and take some pressure off a quarterback in Jet Duffy that's been really efficient. Go up and down over the course of the year, a couple 350-yard games, but they need to find some explosiveness today with him.
Last week against Iowa State, took a small step backwards. He had some big games leading into that against Oklahoma State and Baylor. 424 yards and then 362, 2nd and 8 here. Quick pass. And that's going to go for about a couple to Dalton Rigdon. Jet Duffy, of course, the quarterback in just his 7th career start for this Texas Tech offense. Travis Bruffy, the best offensive lineman on this team. R.J. Turner, 18 catches, 214 yards over the last couple of games. He's been a big-time playmaker. Armand Shine checks into the ballgame at running back for Tech.
And 3rd down has not been a strength for this Texas Tech offense. Converting about 38% of them on the year.
Gonna go to the air again, over the middle. Looks like it's enough for the first down. Texas Tech completes that pass. And that's Travis Kuntz, the backup tight end, for 7 yards in the first. Again, Duffy with time. Duffy just gets rid of it. Now he can run, doesn't run a lot. Had 9 carries for 24 yards last week. That's a season high, and they really aren't encouraging him to run a ton as we look at this Kansas defense. And Azur Kamara is the best player on this defense, and look out for Mike Lee, the free safety, just flies around there in that secondary. Quick pass again for Texas Tech. Dalton Rigdon hauls it in before he's knocked out of bounds by Devon Ferguson.
Yeah, schematically last week against Iowa State, we saw this Texas Tech offense take a lot of easy throws, 5 yards or less. Iowa State did a really good job tackling them out in open space. We'll see if this Kansas defense can do the same and force Jed Duffy to push the ball down the field a little bit more.
3rd and 5 for Duffy. Duffy with room, he's going to hold on to it and out of bounds after he picks up the first down. Duffy actually led the team in rushing last year with 369 yards. Certainly not a lot for your leading rusher.
And again, most of what he's done this year when he gets outside of the pocket is keep his eyes downfield to throw. Some of that's out of necessity too. They got to keep him healthy. Right, they're down to their second quarterback, no Alan Bowman. Nobody behind him that they want to get to. So key that he keeps his eyes down the field and protects himself from taking those hits.
Ball on the 45 for Duffy. Shine in the game at running back. And nothing going there.
See Jed Duffy work to the outside of the field. These outside receivers in this offense, R.J. Turner, Keyshawn Carter, T.J. Vasher, Eric Uzukama. These guys have had a lot of success over recent weeks. They haven't been pushing it quite as much to the inside receivers. Expect them to work the middle of the field a little bit today after some success that Texas had last week against this Kansas defense.
Looking over to the sideline for the play call. 2nd and 10, 3 wide receivers for Duffy. Takes the handoff. Does he squeeze it in there? Looking for Keyshawn Carter. And no catch there as we're looking at 3rd down for Tech.
This Kansas defense is going to see these run pass options quite a bit today, where Jed Duffy pulls and looks to throw out to the flat or to a bubble or to a hitch route. It's going to be key to stay home, make him make quick decisions, and also tackle out in open space.
Another 3rd and 5 situation. 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right for Duffy. And Shine at running back. Swings it out to the right. Very close, trying to pick up the first down is Keyshawn Carter. And Bryce Tornadon, one of the defensive leaders on this team and the leading tackler there to make the stop.
Nice job out in open space, getting a block by Dante Thompson, the tight end. Now we'll see Texas Tech go for it, Dan. Generate some momentum in the first half. After a slow start last week against Iowa State, head coach Matt Wells making a decision now to push it and get some momentum early for the Red Raiders.
4th and about 1.5. Flags down, and we're going to have a false start.
False start. Offense, number 58, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's Madison Akamano.
Right there at the guard position. Just a little bit of movement. Got out a little bit early. That was close. Really close.
Austin McNamara to punt. Kenny Logan Jr. back to return for Kansas. High end over end punt. Gonna land at the 6-yard line. Takes a favorable bounce for Texas Tech. They'll down it at the 5. Nice punt there. 36 yards. Can't do much better than that. Buka Williams, one of the best playmakers in the country, on the field for Kansas on the other side.
Introducing the Hometown Collection by Fanatics. Prep your team in city with this collection of locally inspired graphics designed for the fan. Available at fanatics.com. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
I was the lead gunner of the convoy that we had. While I was suppressing fire, I felt a flick on my upper biceps area. Right after my recovery, I had to find myself again and see what else I could do to continue my selfless service. Having an organization like the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, putting me back into working with wounded troops helped me to process my injury. I'm Sergeant Mary Herrera, and my alive date was November 8th, 2003.
For more information, visit saluteheroes.org.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be just like Cal Ripken. It's definitely humbling to know that now people are calling me a hero. Instead of finding the IED with my metal detector, the IED found me first, and that resulted in double above knee amputations. It's hard to describe the feeling of meeting somebody that you've always wanted to be like. There are people now that are looking up to you for their inspiration and to be their role model.
Visit saluteheroes.org to learn more.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how, and we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids need to know the dangers and how to avoid them. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids, because when you talk, they hear you.
No score early in this one at Memorial Stadium. Douglas Coleman is our one to watch, sponsored by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. First pass of the game for Kansas, the 7th interception of the season for Douglas Coleman. He leads all of FBS with his 7 interceptions. Handoff on the ground to Puka Williams. Not much going there. Keeps those legs churning, but that's going to go in the books as a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, really anxious today to see how defensive coordinator Keith Patterson from Texas Tech attacks Puka Williams. He's got an aggressive defense, and the guy that's benefited the most from that is Jordan Brooks, their inside linebacker. Leads the conference in tackles for a loss. There's Keith Patterson right there. He's having fun dividing. He puts a lot of pressure on his secondary, though. They are aggressive. They will bring pressure over the course of the game. Carter Stanley's going to have to react.
Look there, Jordan Brooks, probably the best player on defense. That guy is so good. Here he is. You see why he is so electric. Coleman making the tackle after a gain of 8. Puka Williams only goes about 5'10", 170, but he'll gain yards up the middle and he'll gain yards in the end.
Yeah, great point. You see 170 pounds and you think, hey, maybe he's more of a scat back, a guy that likes to go off tackle outside on the perimeter. He will run between the tackles, and he is difficult to bring down, and he has outstanding vision. And also, probably most importantly, when he gets in the open field, he's a home run hitter. Have to contain and swarm tackle Puka Williams.
6.3 yards per carry over the course of his career. You can see the numbers last week against Texas. 25 carries, 109 yards. They're going to give it to Puka again on 3rd down. Jordan Brooks there on the stop. Let's see where they spot this one. It's going to be really close, but they do end up giving him the 1st down.
Nice attitude play up front by the Kansas offensive line. And look, one thing you're going to notice about this offense, too, is how multiple they are. Look right there. You got a tight end in the game. You got a fullback in the game. These 2-back runs, you don't see a ton of these in the Big 12 Conference. But Brent Dearman said, look, these are in my DNA. I like to load up the box as well and create extra gaps in the running game.
Puka again. You can see a very patient runner out across the 20, picks up 7. You mentioned Brent Dearman, his 2nd game now as the offensive coordinator, took over after that loss to Oklahoma, had a bye week to get ready for Texas, and Brent Dearman put on quite a show, 48 points in that game against Texas. He's a fun guy to talk to because he knows a lot about this style of offense. Keeping it on the ground. And not a whole lot going there. And Velton Gardner on the carry from Kansas. And there's a look at Dearman. Dearman's story is a good one. He's one of those young offensive wizards. He was the head coach at Tiny Bethel at NAI school, and West Tennessee.
Just last year,
they averaged 55 points per game. They led all of college football in scoring. Les Miles brings them on, and eventually he gets promoted to OC. And first game of the books, 48 points, not too shabby. 33 here for his offense. Quick throw, stays on his feet. Does Kwame Lassiter, but unable to pick up the first down. And here comes the punt unit.
That's a really nice call on third down. What Keith Patterson is doing is crowding the line of scrimmage, creating the guys that, hey, we're going to bring pressure. He ends up not bringing pressure. They drop 7, they only bring 4. And what that does is it speeds up the mental time clock for Carter Stanley and makes him feel like he has to get the ball out quicker into the flat, make a tackle, stop him on third down, you get a punt. Nice call by Keith Patterson.
Kyle Thompson punting to Chooks Wabuka. Oh, wow! He is met by a flurry of Kansas defenders. Big time hit coming in there. My goodness, you can hear that up here in the press box. Wow! TK Williams, first man there.
Some things in your medicine cabinet are more dangerous than others. When it comes to prescription drugs, opioid pain medicines can be addictive and even deadly. Keeping unused opioid medicines in your home is risky. Half the people who misuse prescription pain medicines get them from a friend or family member. Over 100 Americans die every day from an opioid overdose, and millions are addicted to opioids. But you can be part of the solution to the opioid crisis. Go through your medicine cabinets, drawers, anywhere you keep unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups, and find out how to dispose of them safely. Visit fda.gov/drug disposal for details and remove the risk of opioids in your home.
Saturdays are game days in the Big 12.
Touchdown!
Storied schools and bitter rivals.
Touchdown!
Big 12 football all season long.
Every year, millions of working American families and their children hide their struggle with hunger. It doesn't need to be that way. Hunger hides, but we can help. Let's end hunger in America.
FS1 College Football is sponsored by Dave & Buster's. Download the new Dave & Buster's Fun app today. That last punt return play currently under review right now. They're checking it out for targeting. Chooks Wabuka was the guy on the return, and we are going to find out here momentarily what the play is. Let's bring in our rules expert, Dean Blandino, in our LA studios. Dean, what did you see here?
Yeah, so it was the hit on the returner, and we're looking for crown of the helmet. It did look like the defender lowered his head. It didn't jump out on the live shot, but when you watch the replay, lowers his head, initiates forcible contact with the crown of the helmet. By the rule book definition of targeting, that is a foul.
Dean Blandino, thank you very much, and you are absolutely correct. I believe they have rule targeting down on the field. That's a huge hit for this Kansas defense. Bryce Tornadon now walking off the field, one of the defensive leaders, one of the best players on this Kansas defense. And Tech goes to the air right away. That's the tight end. Dante Thompson picking up 24 yards, and Tempo, tempo, tempo. Gavin Potter with the stop after the big game.
Yeah, Dan, we got to highlight what Bryce Tornaden's absence does for this defense. He moves all over the place. He's their leading tackler, and to lose him this early in the game, it's unfortunate for Kansas.
Shine on the carry. That's a huge hit for this defense that doesn't have a ton of depth. Second down, keeping on the ground again. It's Shine with room, puts his head down, and he's inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, in the open, we mentioned Sir Roderick Thompson, but don't discount Armand Shine. He came in, had some ankle issues over the course of the year. He's a transfer from Utah. Big, strong back that has a burst to him, too. They really like him. If he gets the hot hand, they will ride him as well over the course of the game.
Shine in the game again, up the middle, inside the 5. Shine, one of 7 transfers that came in for head coach Matt Wells. Wells at Utah State, Shine at Utah. He actually recruited Shine to Utah State, and he had verbally committed and ended up, after he got to Utah, offered playing for the Utes. Here's Shine again, trying to push his way into the end zone. Very close, but going to be just shy. Brings up 3rd and goal.
Gotta like what Texas Tech is trying to do on the ground. This Kansas defense has struggled against the run for the better part of the year. Now over 200 yards a game on the ground. Texas Tech trying to impose their will early.
Shine again. And Shine is short, so that brings up 4th down. Looks like Gavin Potter was in there on the stop. Going to be interesting to see what Tech decides to do here.
They're going with a split zone on the goal line. Potter does a really nice job. The true freshman coming in, plugging up that gap on the goal line. And remember, Potter's playing for Drew Prox, one of their best defensive players that got hurt a few weeks ago and has filled in nicely at the inside linebacker position.
Tazon Henry in at running back now for Tech.
Keep an eye on Nate. TJ Vasher up top. Big red zone target. Matt Wells going to go with timeout here.
Prior to the play clock expiring, Texas Tech takes its first time out of the half.
And I feel you on Nate Vasher. Uncle Nate, 7-year NFL veteran.
Won't be the first time that happens.
Hey, quite all right. We're back. 4th and goal coming up.
Oh, hey, bud.
Oh.
Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
It's a school night. With Gary and Todd?
Yeah.
Not sure about those two. I've been meaning to ask you. This is tougher than I thought. Is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
I hope not, because alcohol can lead you to say things and do things that you really wish you hadn't. Isn't this what you're supposed to say?
I know.
So if any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you.
Ryan.
Yeah?
So start the conversation even before they're teenagers.
Good idea.
For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
If you talk and they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
Get ready for the buzzer beaters, the fantastic finishes, the bitter rivalries. College basketball all season long.
FS1 College Football sponsored by Rocket Mortgage, by Quicken Loans. Big play here for Texas Tech. 4th and goal. They're going for it. Look at Jet Duffy. Tayson Henry in at running back. Keeper on the ground to SaRodorick Thompson, who scores the first touchdown of the game for Texas Tech.
And that's the other part of this three-headed monster at running back that we've been talking about. SaRodorick Thompson, Armand Shine, and now Tayson Henry. It's a split zone play. The tight end coming to the back to seal it off. Tayson Henry does a nice job getting up over the pile and into the end zone.
My bad, partner. It was SaRodorick Thompson. Tayson was in there earlier. That was SaRodorick Thompson in for the touchdown and puts Texas Tech on the board. The extra point here as they try to make it 7-0. Trey Wolf up and good.
The kick is good.
Redshirt freshman as they rotate these running backs. Diving into the end zone to put Tech on the board first here in Lawrence.
My mom always tells me to stay humble, stay hungry. I'm really just trying to perfect myself in the classroom as well as on the field.
He's got so many qualities about him, but I think the first thing you know is just the presence that he has in the room. He can do anything he wants to do. The sky's the limit for Fry.
There's so much more to me than the football field. There's so much more to me than 100 by 53 yards. There's so much inside my heart that I can give them. I just want to relay that same love and that same affection to the people behind me.
Trisha's having a sleepover tonight. Can I go?
I wonder about Lucy's friends. What should I say? I know you're only 10, but one of these days a friend will offer you a drink. And alcohol at your age can lead to so many things. None of them good.
So can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me
I
something.
finished my homework.
Bigger promise. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
Mom.
I promise you. Your real friends won't care. Deal?
Sure.
Really?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Watch 13 Wham News anywhere on any device with Stir. Download the Stir app and choose Rochester. You get local news and more than 20 other TV channels. And the best part? It's free. Go to your app store and download Stir today.
Welcome back to Lawrence, Kansas. FS1 College Football sponsored by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. One touchdown already up on the board here. A busy day in the conference. Let's check in with Amber Theo-Harris in just a few minutes for a game break, because this is a crazy day around the Big 12. As you look at SaRodorick Thompson, he caps a 7-play, 45-yard drive with a 1-yard touchdown plunge on 4th down, his 8th touchdown of the year. Stephon Robinson not going to get a chance to return that as the kick is out of bounds, so it'll be put on the 35-yard line. So now we check in with the aforementioned Amber Theo-Harris.
All right, Dan, it's upset day in the Big 12. Number 15, Texas at TCU on Fox. Horned Frogs up 10 with under a minute to go. Ennis Gaines seals the deal. He picks off Sam Ehlinger, and Texas becomes the 3rd top 25 team to lose to an unranked opponent in the conference today, Dan.
Amber, thank you very much. It has been a crazy day.
So you Baylor better be happy they're not playing today.
Absolutely. Upset Central in the Big 12. They're going to keep it on the ground as Kansas to Puka. Puka with a first down and more. inside the 45 before Zach McPherson makes the tackle. A 22-yard pickup for Puka Williams.
And Dan, this is what Puka Williams will do when you give him what he needs up front. Left guard Malik Clark, watch him right here. Watch him pull around and open up a nice big hole for Puka Williams. The patience and then the acceleration to get away from the defenders. That's his specialty. And when you block like that up front, number one's gonna have a big day.
You can see why this young man is so special. We have a player down for Tech. It's Evan Rambo, the outside linebacker, the Cal transfer. Very important member of this defense. Talking about what was going on in the Big 12 and the crazy upsets today. Look at Oklahoma, upset on the road by Kansas State. That was a phenomenal game. There was an onside kick that looked like it was recovered, and then it was overturned correctly, I must say.
Yeah, I think it was the right call. That ball definitely hit his leg before 10 yards for a wild one in Manhattan, but that's 3 of the top 4 teams in this conference outside of Baylor that go down today. What a wild Saturday in the Big 12.
Yeah, and then you see Texas loses on the road to TCU. Iowa State loses to Oklahoma State. Brock Purdy, some interceptions, 3 of them in the fourth quarter as you look at the standings now. And that, a day like today certainly shakes things up quite a bit.
It does. There's no question about that. You know, you look at the looming Baylor-Oklahoma matchup too later in the year, and you also look at Oklahoma's playoff hopes and things that have to go their way. One-loss teams, there's no guarantee with the way this thing's structured today.
They're not done. Oklahoma's not done in terms of the playoff hopes, but it's certainly, if that light switch had a dimmer on it, that's, you know, it's not real bright right now.
That's exactly right. They won't be the only one-loss, you know, if they're able to win out, they won't be the only one-loss conference champion if they're able to pull that off. A lot of difficult games still to be played, and Baylor probably has something to say about that too. It's going to make for a nice finish, though, as we get down the stretch here in November.
Puka Williams, we talked about the success that he had last week for Les Miles' Kansas offense here. Is Velton Gardner going to give Puka a break here on first down? And he picks up 4. Jordan Brooks, surprise, surprise. First man there to make the tackle on the season. He came into the game with 78 tackles. Leads the Big 12 in tackles. He's 6th in the nation, averaging just over 11 per game.
Yeah, and I think he's been a big beneficiary of the new system under Keith Patterson. He's been so disruptive on that back end. A 4-year starter. He's playing the best ball of his career in this system.
Puka back in it, running back, and not able to hold on. Andrew Parchment, the ball goes right through his hands. The change at offensive coordinator for guys like Charlotte, Parchment, Stephon Robinson, even Kwame Lassiter. They had to be excited. Just more opportunities created for them because of this Brent Dearman offense.
We talked about the aggressive Tech defense. They want man-to-man on the back end. With these receivers, they feel like they can win those matchups. Carter Stanley just got to get it out there to him.
Carter Stanley on 3rd and 6. Tries to dump it off over the middle to Lassiter. DeMarcus Fields right there in coverage.
Yeah, ball came out quick. DeMarcus Fields is right there. One thing you'll notice too about the Tech defense, these defensive backs are very interchangeable. All of them can cover in space. You see DeMarcus Fields there running step for step with Kwame Lassiter. These guys move around all over the place, and what that does is it makes it difficult for quarterbacks to identify those guys. They start to say, hey, that's a safety, that's a corner, and try to simplify it in their minds. On multiple looks you'll see from the Texas Tech defense.
Kyle Thompson set the punt again. Ibuka content to let that one bounce into the end zone for the touchback. Time now for More Than a House, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage, by Quicken Loans. David Booth, Kansas Memorial Stadium here in Lawrence, opened up in 1921, making it the 2nd oldest stadium in the Big 12, dedicated as a memorial to Kansas students who died in World War I. This is quite a place. Cool old stadium here in Lawrence. My first trip to Lawrence. It's a great college town.
It's great, man. I mean, had a great dinner last night too. Local brewery, good local Lawrence food.
Basketball season has started here. I know they're excited about that.
Got to see Fog Allen too right now.
going to walk through. That's a special place, no doubt about that. Quick pass by the Red Raiders. R.J. Turner, we talked about the success that he'd had the last couple of games. 6-yard gain there. Came in over the last 2 games, 18 catches for 214 yards for the senior from Louisiana. And this time it's on the ground one more time. Good for the first down. Sir Roderick Thompson.
The Kansas defense does a nice job on the backside of that run, collapsing and pursuing.
And again, nice, patient run. Thompson goes for 6. Jelani Brown, the big nose tackle on the stop.
We saw what they did last drive. Again, this is a Kansas defense that's allowed a 100-yard rusher in 5 of their 7 games. Allowed about 223 yards a game on the ground. It's clear Texas Tech wants to impose their will.
Duffy going deep up the right sideline. And he is not able to connect there with T.J. Vasher. He's tall and he's fast, but he's not that fast or that tall.
Yeah, didn't complete this one. Ends up staying a little bit. I thought there was a little bit of a hold on the play. The defender got away with it. You got to like taking a shot a little bit and keeping the defense honest.
Yeah, Hassan defense.
It wasn't a very explosive offense last week. They want to be more explosive and take shots down the field. Okay with a thought.
Flag down.
Illegal substitution. 12 men in formation on the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Yardage results in a first down.
DJ Elliott, defensive coordinator for Kansas, not too happy about that.
Kind of surprising too. For the most part, Texas Tech plays the same personnel group all game long. There shouldn't be a ton of confusion on defense as you're rotating guys in and out. Get them on that one.
So first down now for Texas Tech on the 42. Thompson met in the backfield and making the tackle. Deontay Ford.
Deontay Ford's role becomes that much more important now that Bryce Tornaden is out of the game for the targeting call. He's going to have a big responsibility to fill with Bryce Tornaden gone.
There's Thompson again, trying to find some room on the right side. He does, just shy of the first down. And some late extracurriculars going on there. Jay Deneen in on the stop. If that name sounds familiar to Kansas fans, it's because his brother Joe, starting linebacker here last year. And Tech picks up the first down. That's Thompson, stopped by Najee Stevens-McKenzie.
And Texas Tech early on testing the edges of this defense with their left and right tackle, Travis Bruffrey and Terrence Steele. So Roger Thompson turning those legs. Look, he's more of a traditional back, but he's got a little bit of wiggle to him. You feel good about him in open space, breaking tackles, and he's finding ways to get extra yards.
Tayzon Henry checking in at running back for Texas Tech. Duffy. And they're calling that a complete pass. T.J. Vasher, you can see the wingspan there. Hassan defense there on the stop after the 9-yard gain.
I thought the throw came out just a tad late. I mean, Vasher's all the way over by the sideline. It's hard to tell if that left foot comes down or not, but that's incredible footwork if he's able to get that foot in.
And Tech keeping it on the ground. Nice run there. Tayzon Henry staying in at running back. Again, it's defense on the stop.
Tayzon Henry, another guy that's been banged up a little bit at the running back possession. Seen some limited action over the course of the year.
And here's Henry again. Just picking up chunk plays after chunk play.
They're moving, Dan. Look, they really want to get the ball snapped with about 28 seconds left on the play clock. And they've simplified their scheme right now. They're pounding the football, and they are moving really fast.
Gavin Potter missed a tackle on Henry on that last one. Duffy looking to go up top. The situation for the running backs for Texas Tech between Shine and Henry and Thompson is that it's really equal time until one guy gets hot, and then David Yost is going to make that adjustment and ride that guy in the second half.
And what Jed Duffy's doing at the line of scrimmage, too, is feeling out the read of the defense and trying to find T.J. Vasher in one-on-one situations. The problem is Hassan Defense is their best cover guy at Kansas, and so you got to pick and choose your battles with him on the outside. I feel like they think they can win those matchups, but Hassan Defense has done an outstanding job so far.
So Roger Thompson checking back in at running back. This is the 12th play of the drive for Texas Tech, looking at 2nd and 10. Thompson spins his way to a 6-yard gain. Deontay Ford there on the stop. Looking at 3rd and 4 here. Tries to put his head down and burrow his way to the first down, but that's going to go in the books as a 2-yard gain as the first quarter winds down here at Memorial Stadium. Seven 0 after 1 quarter of play. That could change very quickly with Texas Tech knocking on the doorstep once again.
The climb. It's never easy. It takes planning. It takes time. But you'll share every step and shape a path toward greater heights and glorious views. You'll find your field, your team, and come to realize that you're not climbing, you're rising.
Sports fans are gearing up at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Is your credit card debt stressing you out? Take control. A personal loan could help you crush high interest rates and reduce your monthly payments so you can get out of debt faster and save money. Whether you're a credit stud or a credit starter, at Credible.com, we help you find great rates from multiple lenders. In 3 minutes, get actual pre-qualified rates. Have the money you need as quickly as tomorrow and start living your life.
Visit Credible.com to see how much you could save.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
FS1 College Football is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage, by Quicken Loans. Texas Tech knocking on the door once again, already up 7-0. This is the 14th play of the drive. As they are going to kick the field goal here. Trey Wolf with what should be a chip shot. Redshirt freshman from Spring, Texas. Let's see. Long on the season, 45 yards. This one from 23. And indeed, he made it look easy. Up 10-0 Texas Tech on Kansas. You talk about this success that Texas Tech has had over Kansas. The last 3 games against Kansas, they have won by an average of 38 points. Here at Memorial Stadium, Tech's never lost, a perfect 10-0, and they're currently riding a 12-game winning streak.
Yeah, coming into this game, don't tell Kansas that. And we talked about what they did last week at Texas. This was a very confident team coming into this game, especially what they did offensively under their new offensive coordinator, Brent Dearman, on the road in conference. Now, Texas is not a great defense. That's been established so far this year with how banged up they've been, how young they are on defense. Kansas made big plays repeatedly all game long. Brought him in this game with a ton of confidence. No points so far. I expect this Kansas team to get comfortable. Carter Stanley to start making quicker decisions and start pushing this ball down the field a little bit for Les Miles' team.
Stephon Robinson. Deep for Kansas. Wolves kick. Fielded by Robinson. And Robinson out to the 30-yard line. DeMarcus Fields on the tackle for Tech. Next week on Thursday Night Football, it's Jimmy G and the 49ers looking to continue their undefeated season, taking on Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Starts at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video. 49ers, one of the big surprises in the NFL this year. I tell you what, they are legit. That defense.
Well, that pass rush.
It's just incredible. Top 2 or 3 defenses in the NFL. First down, fake the handoff to Puka, pass out and complete to Andrew Parchment. 6-yard gain for Parchment.
And that's where Carter Stanley was at his best last week, being very decisive with their RPO package. Pulling the football and getting the ball out quick in the flat and letting his receivers make plays. And Andrew Parchment is certainly one of those guys. 35 catches on the year and 5 touchdowns.
2nd and 4, Stanley going to keep it himself. And we saw this last week from Carter Stanley. 9 carries for 65 yards. He is not afraid to put his head down and run. Picks up 8 here.
Yeah, and these reads are that much more dangerous when you really have the threat of the quarterback run. And Carter Stanley has put that on film time and time again throughout the year. Not afraid to keep the football and get tough yards.
Puka. Nothing going there. Thomas Leggett plays that spur position for this Tech defense. One of the Texas Tech defenders just ran into a swarm of them there at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Thomas Leggett's been a valuable part of this defense. That hybrid linebacker safety position that comes down in the box, makes plays in the run game. He's a smart player too. They trust him to always be in the right spot. Big play in the backfield.
2nd and 10, quick pass to the outside. And that's Parchment again. That's going to go in the books as a loss of 2. DeMarcus Fields, Adrian Fry there on the stop. This Texas Tech defense just swarming to the ball. 3rd and 13 now for Kansas. Stanley going to go to the air, over the middle, pass, caught and then dropped. Did they rule it a catch by Dalen Charlotte? And they do. A catch, a fumble, and a recovery.
On the field is a catch, fumble, recovery for defense.
By Texas Tech. Here's another look.
And then it's a really nice throw in a tight window down the field. And it looked like he did possess the ball, get 2 feet on the ground, and make that football or a move that's common to the game, so to speak. It's like he tucks that thing away and makes a move to get upfield.
DeMarcus Fields knocks it out. Thomas Leggett there to recover. I think you're absolutely right. Gets the 2 feet down, makes that kind of football move, and looked like a good call to me. Let's bring in Dean Blandino to get his thoughts. Dino, what do you think?
They're really on the field.
Yes,
with a catch and a fumble recovered by the defense. That plays under further review.
It's close. Look, you're looking for control, a body part down. So here it's a foot. And then does he have it long enough to do something with it? Does he clearly tuck it away, start to turn upfield, transition to a runner? It's close at full speed. Whenever you slow it down, it's going to make it look like he has it longer. Again, ruled a catch fumble on the field. I think this is going to be tough to overturn, but they're looking at it, and we'll see what they do.
All right, Dean in the command center there in Los Angeles. Thank you very much. Obviously, to Dean's point, the ruling on the field, it has to be the verbiage generally clear and obvious to overturn that. I don't know that they're going to find that here.
Yeah, we talk about clear and obvious. To me, when you look at the play, what's clear and obvious, Dan? Like, takes a couple seconds. You glance at it, you say, oh, no, that's not a catch. But I think if you look at that, you have to look at it long enough. And it's really close, but there's a foot that hits the ground. It looks like he changes direction just a bit. He doesn't necessarily tuck the ball, but he possesses it. Now, the ball does move a little bit when he brings it to his left side, but again, I think it's too close to overturn. To me, that's not clear and obvious.
I would agree with that.
If the standard is clear and obvious, then that's not clear and obvious.
Mike DeFee, our referee tonight, giving this a good look. What size is that shirt that Mike DeFee's wearing? Is that an XL?
You bench more than he does? Or?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. All these referees, they're all jacked up.
He had to be doing push-ups in the tunnel before coming out on the field. And he's proud of that, too. He's probably going to thank us for that comment.
As he should. He's earned it, though. Man, look at those guns.
Well, Mike DeFee, man. Him out there at guard. Who could be? I'd run behind that guy.
Heck yeah, he would. The one thing I think in terms of these reviews, why does it take so long?
Yeah,
that's the big question, right?
You'd like to see them speed the whole thing up. You would. I mean, especially if we're looking for something clear and obvious. They want to get it right, and instant replay is right next to us up here in this booth. And
listen,
some collaboration. So hey, I know, to take a look at it, get it right.
And I know it's easy for us to say, and we have the luxury of having Dean Blandino able to look at it on several monitors, and he can make a decision pretty quickly. Dean, why does it take so much time?
After reviewing the play, the receiver never had possession of the ball. It's an incomplete pass. It's going to be 4th down and 13 at the 40-yard line at #1. Please set the game clock to 12:50.
Go ahead, Dean.
So they ruled that he never had possession, saying that he never put the ball away, never had it long enough. Look, it's a judgment call. It's close. The reason why it takes longer than sometimes we think it should is if they're going to change it, they've got to figure out, okay, the clock, the new spot, the down, the distance, all of those things. So that's what they are working through after they make the decision.
Okay, makes sense. Dean Blandino, thank you very much. And we were incorrect. They overturned the call. I guess they saw something there that was clear and obvious. Kyle Thompson, the leading punter in the Big 12, set the punt once again for Kansas. Wabuka fielded at about the 14, out to the 19. And he is taken down right away. A 45-yard punt, a 5-yard return. Torrey Loughlin on the stop.
My creativity, my style, my eccentricities, idiosyncrasies. I disdain the mundane. I always like to have pizzazz. I transform that into Clyde's Wine and Dime.
Brought to you by Tums. Fights heartburn fast.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be just like Cal Ripken. It's definitely humbling to know that now people are calling me a hero. We were doing a push into Taliban territory. Instead of finding the IED with my metal detector, the IED found me first, and that resulted in double above-knee amputations. There are people now that are looking up to you for their inspiration and to be their role model.
Nice to meet you. Good. How are you doing?
Meeting Cal for the first time was surreal. I mean, it's hard to describe the feeling of meeting somebody that you've always wanted to be like. You're realizing that there are people now that are looking up to you for their inspiration and to be their role model. And so it certainly is sobering, and it comes with a weight of responsibility. It's so important that we continue to help veterans into the foreseeable future.
For more information, visit saluteheroes.org.
Our image is just, you know, we just play football. That's all we do. Some of the stuff I read in books, I'm not really taught that. I'll go out and search for myself. How the world works is really, you know, interesting to me.
Certain guys have the feeling for where they're going to go in life. It's being a well-rounded person, and that's Stephon Robinson.
The position we're in is so vital. People look up to us. People want to do what we do. Everyone faces obstacles in their life, and just don't give up and just give it all you got. Through hard work, you will be rewarded.
Texas Tech up 10-0 on Kansas, and they have struggled on the road this season. 3-1 at home, still looking for their first road win of the year. You can see they've played some pretty good teams in Oklahoma and Baylor, but man, they desperately want to get that monkey off their back under first-year head coach Matt Wells.
Yeah, look, different team outside of Lubbock. You said it, Oklahoma and Baylor, two really difficult teams. It's been a different schedule on the road. We'll solve those road issues here today.
That is the 18th rushing attempt of the game for Texas Tech, just 12 passes. And they have gained about 90 yards on the ground. Looking at 2nd and 6 here. Keeping it on the ground again. Going to be just short of the first down is Armand Shine.
Yeah, it's clear what this Texas Tech offense is trying to do. And another reminder that Bryce Tornaden out, Deontay Ford is in. He ends up becoming that linebacker in the box. Bryce Tornaden was our leading tackler. It's a big responsibility. And Tech clearly sees more opportunities to run the ball against a defense that's missing one of their best players.
Darius Moraney, Najee Stevens, McKenzie on the stop after the first down by Armand Shine. Their 20th rushing attempt of the game, dumping it off to Shine here. And he almost gets to the 40 before Gavin Potter shoves him out of bounds.
Yeah, Dan, he dumps it off to Shine. I thought he had an opportunity down the field to Keyshawn Carter. Had his guy beat on the near sideline. Probably had a chance to let that go. Keyshawn was a little frustrated after the play. This has been Jet Duffy's MO the last couple of weeks, is taking these easy throws. Leads to efficiency, but they want to find some explosiveness in the passing game.
Second and 6 for Tech. Gonna go to the air this time, over the middle, open. The tight end, Travis Kuntz, hauls it in for a gain of 33.
Travis Kuntz does a really nice job getting width, and off the play action, that sucks up the linebackers, leaving a big void in the middle of the field for Travis Kuntz. A well-thrown ball by Jet Duffy.
Another tight window throw by Duffy. This one to Dalton Rigdon, Mike Lee on the stop.
Expect a little more of that today with how well Texas Tech has run the football. These tight ends over the middle of the field. These linebackers have to respond to the run action.
Swing it out quickly to Thompson, who loses his footing and loses 2 on the play. Kyron Johnson going to get credited with the tackle. You can see the tempo that this Texas Tech offense moves with. Travis Kuntz, tight end, one of the 3 receivers to the left for Jet Duffy. And Sir Roger Thompson still in at running back. TJ Vasher, the single wide receiver to Duffy's right. Duffy with plenty of time. Gonna keep it himself this time. Taken down at the 20-yard line, 1 yard shy of the first down. Stevens, McKenzie, and Potter on the stop.
Yeah, before the play, it looks like he decides he's gonna commit to the left side of the field. Keeps his eyes on the left side. RJ Turner came open on a hook route late. By that time, Jet Duffy had already tucked it. Get a 4th down conversion here.
Going for it on 4th down again. Pulls it, runs it himself. We haven't seen that a ton from Duffy, but that's good for the first down.
Yeah, Zura Kamara comes off the edge, and Jet Duffy does a really nice job keeping his eyes on that backside defensive end. And usually when he pulls that ball, his next option is to pass. That's what we've seen the most from him over the course of the year. This time, huge void in the defense and takes advantage of it. Look, we can't forget Sam Ellinger last week had over 90 yards rushing, against this defense. Some of it was broken plays where he was scrambling. Other times it was designed runs.
And another run for Thompson. And they are just pounding this Kansas defense that has really struggled against the run this year, coming in allowing 223 yards per game. That's 123rd in the nation, allowing opposing running backs to average almost 5 yards per carry. Keyshawn Carter, the lone wide receiver, to the right side of the formation. Duffy gonna throw to the right. Has a receiver in the back of the end zone. Caught by McLean Mannix. Touchdown Texas Tech from 9 yards out.
Number 13. And again, Dan, it's a great play design. It's just a play action with a boot out to the right. He has a lead blocker, or excuse me, a route runner, Dante Thompson. He finds McLean Mannix in the back of the end zone, does a great job dragging those feet. And again, a good play call. With how well they've run the ball, it's been 2 play action plays that were the biggest on that drive. One to Travis Kuntz over the middle of the field, and then that one to McLean Mannix in the back of the end zone. With Jet Duffy finishing off the drive. Really well executed.
We still have 8 minutes to go here in the first half. Already 8 different receivers have caught a pass from Jet Duffy.
And they're moving quick, man. If it's confusing to you, we're trying to piece it all together for you. They're moving quick.
Extra point good, 17-0 Texas Tech on top of Kansas. McLean Mannix with the latest score. The Nevada transfer. Trying to help Tech get their first road win of the season.
I was the lead gunner of the convoy that we had. While I was suppressing fire, I felt a flick on my upper biceps area. They ended up reconstructing my arm instead of amputating. I don't have full use of it. Right after my recovery, I had to find myself again and see what else I could do to continue my selfless service. The coalition came to a handful of us with an idea of having a nonprofit that solely focuses on those coming back wounded from Iraq and Afghanistan. We would have the opportunity to help others that have been in our boots. Having an organization like the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, putting me back into working with wounded troops, helped me to process my injury. Life is full of trials and tribulations. Life is full of ups and downs, and it's the way you handle yourself through those trials and tribulations. I'm Sergeant Mary Herrera, and my alive date was November 8th, 2003.
For more information, visit saluteheroes.org.
Stadium brings you live college football and high school football games, MLB playoff and World Series coverage, and NBA breaking news with Shams Charania. Stadium, your home for sports.
I was the lead gunner of the convoy that we had. While I was suppressing fire, I felt a flick on my upper biceps area. They ended up reconstructing my arm instead of amputating. I don't have full use of it. Right after my recovery, I had to find myself again and see what else I could do to continue my selfless service. The coalition came to a handful of us with an idea of having a nonprofit that solely focuses on those coming back wounded from Iraq and Afghanistan. We would have the opportunity to help others that have been in our boots. Having an organization like the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, putting me back into working with wounded troops, helped me to process my injury. Life is full of trials and tribulations. Life is full of ups and downs, and it's the way you handle yourself through those trials and tribulations. I'm Sergeant Mary Herrera, and my alive date was November 8th, 2003.
For more information, visit saluteheroes.org.
Welcome back to Big 12 College Football. Due to time constraints, we'll pick up action after these messages.
Support your favorite college at Fanatics.com, the largest assortment of officially licensed fan gear from more than 500 colleges. Every conference, every team. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
This anticipation, oh my goodness. There's nothing to compare to what we're going through today. Oh my, holy smoke. Oh my goodness. Throw it down. It's out of here. That is a beautiful play. Now the crowd's having fun.
over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Every year, millions of working American families and their children hide their struggle with hunger. It doesn't need to be that way. Hunger hides, but we can help. Let's end hunger in America.
Either a 53-yard gain or a 54-yard gain. That extra yard is big here. Dean Blandino, what did you see? Touchdown or no?
I think if you piece a couple of angles together, this is a touchdown. I've got the right leg hitting first, and he's going to spin and have that ball over the goal line. You'd love to have it look down the line, but it's such a long play. We don't have that. It's close, but again, if you piece a couple of angles together, you can make this a touchdown.
Well, it looks like we have a touchdown now. They ruled him down at the 1, so now Carter Stanley will dive in for the first Kansas score of the game. That's going to go in the books as a 53-yard catch by Stephon Robinson that sets up the 1-yard touchdown plunge by the quarterback Carter Stanley. Here's another look.
That's how you sneak the football. Get behind your big guard, go under center. A lot of teams in college don't even go under center anymore. They try to do it everything out of the shotgun. He goes under center, gets behind his guard, reaches that football for 6.
Getting our first look at Liam Jones. Kick is good.
The kick is good.
And the home team is on the board. Carter Stanley, we said he needed a big play. That's exactly what he got from Stephon Robinson.
To a child battling a critical illness, a wish can feel like a dream. But with your help, it isn't out of reach. Wishes are an important part of medical treatment. A chance for kids to see themselves stronger, braver, to see that the impossible is possible. Wishes can give kids the strength to fight, to get better, to grow up. Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Every year, millions of working American families and their children hide their struggle with hunger. It doesn't need to be that way. Hunger hides, but we can help. Let's end hunger in America.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, Oklahoma goes down in a major upset. Ohio State dominates in its first big test of the year. Plus, Auburn and LSU battle in a top 10 showdown. So join me and Robert Smith at the half. Right now, Dan and Evan, back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Carter Stanley diving in for the touchdown after that big pass play to Stephon Robinson. Kansas been waiting for that this entire game. We talked about the confidence level of this team coming in after that narrow loss in Austin to Texas. And that might have been just what they needed. Tayzon Henry tripped up just after he passes the 20. We do have a flag down. So I would assume if you're Texas Tech, you just keep doing what you've been doing, pounding the rock, right?
They've had a lot of success running the football and taking chances at times with play action.
During the return, holding, return team number 23, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
When you're running the ball as well as they have so far, as everybody knows, it opens a lot of things up in the passing game, especially some of this play action stuff in the middle of the field. A big gain to Travis Kuntz. And the rollout on the goal line to McClain Mannix. Chuck Duffy's been efficient so far today, especially on that last drive. Should the ball down the field a little bit more.
Good numbers there for Jet Duffy, the third different starting quarterback for Texas Tech this year. Alan Bowman, of course, started the year. Jackson Tyner started against Oklahoma, and then Duffy replaced him in that game, has had the job ever since. Maybe a 1-yard gain. Gavin Potter and Jelani Brown there on the stop for the Kansas defense.
Yeah, again, Gavin Potter filling in for Drew Prox, one of the best players on this defense that was hurt a few weeks back. And the freshman's doing a really nice job being active in the run game, being that run-through guy that will beat the running back to the gap to make a play.
Coming off his best game against Texas. 9 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss in that game. 2nd and 9 here for Duffy. Flag down as he tries to squeeze it in there to R.J. Turner. Kwame Lassiter.
Flag on the play.
Kyle Mayberry, actually, the man in coverage. We have a couple of number 8s on the roster.
Pass interference. Defense number 8. Spot foul, automatic, first down.
Yeah, it looked like kind of a bang-bang play. A slant route off the play action. They're saying, yeah, there's a little contact before the ball gets there. Definitely impedes ability of the receiver to catch the football before the ball arrives. Nice call by Mike Duffy and his crew.
Duffy tipped back to himself, and he's using his wheels here out to the 30-yard line. It's Caleb Sampson that got a hand on it.
We were saying he hasn't run a ton. We see his wheels here after that ball gets batted. Smartly elects not to throw another forward pass, gets outside the pocket and gets positive yards. And that's that's an asset for him and his skill set, is using those legs when he can to get extra yards.
14-yard pickup for Duffy. Duffy going to the air again. And this behind Dalton Rigdon. Talk about Duffy and his ability to run. 3 carries in this game for 19 yards. He'll take it when it's there. But not going to run a ton. He swings it out to the left side. A bit low for Rigdon, but he holds on to it before he's shoved out of bounds by Deontay Ford.
And it's really important for this Kansas secondary, as the linebackers in the front 7 key on this run game and try to slow this run game down. It's really important for this secondary to tackle in space. And Deontay Ford has shown he's up for the challenge in the absence of Bryce Tordaden with a nice tackle on the perimeter.
So Roderick Thompson, the running back here on 3rd and 7. Dalton rigged in one of the two receivers to the right. Duffy looking in the middle field. Tip ball again.
Well, they brought Gavin Potter on a blitz, and he puts a really nice move on the center and then sees the quick release from Jet Duffy, gets his hands up in the air and bats the play down. Watch, he ends up one-on-one on the center, puts a really nice move on him, able to get around him, gets his hands up in the air for a batted ball. Really nice play by the freshman linebacker.
So Austin McNamara averaging 45 yards per punt this season. Kenny Logan Jr. calls for the fair catch at the 15. 49-yard punt. And we are headed to another game break. Amber?
Dan, let's check out Boston College and number 4 Clemson. Clemson riding that 22-game win streak. Trevor Lawrence to DeAndre Overton, 22 yards for the touchdown. That's the senior's first of the season, and the Tigers are up 17-7 in the second quarter, Dan.
Up 17-7 on Boston College. KU beat BC earlier in the season, their first road win against a Power 5 opponent in more than a decade. This pass complete to Parchment.
And a nice read by Carter Stanley. That's when he's at his best. He sees the leverage of the corner. DeMarcus Fields on the outside. He's got inside leverage. Parchment runs the outside breaking route. And a nice throw over the sideline for an easy completion.
Second and 5 from the 21. Stanley pressured, steps up in the pocket, decides to keep it himself, slides down at the 35. Good decision there by Stanley. Jordan Brooks with the pressure. First down after the 11-yard gain for Kansas.
And gotta love the pump fake when he gets outside of the pocket too, to buy himself some extra room, get positive yards.
First down from the 32, had to go down low to get it. Dalen Charlotte unable to make that catch. Zach McPherson was there.
And Dan, going back, we cannot understate how big of a stop that was for DJ Elliott's unit, for the Kansas defense, to get that ball back from Texas Tech. Previously, Tech had been moving the ball with relative ease down the field. 17-0. Kansas gets a big play offensively. Now you get the ball back 17-7 with a chance to cut this thing even tighter.
Second down again from the 32. This one complete. Kwame Lassiter takes a big shot after he picks up the first down. Rico Jeffers putting his shoulder into him after the 11-yard gain.
And these are those rhythm throws that we were talking about before last drive. This is when Carter Stanley is the most comfortable, when the ball's coming out quick, and we're seeing the playmaking ability of some of these wide receivers.
Stanley going to throw again. This time to the left side. That one complete. Out across the 50 is Lassiter. Gain of 9. Keep your eye on that clock. 1:08 left here in the first half. Timeout called.
Kansas takes its second time out of the half. 30 seconds.
Look there at Brent Dearman, the new offensive coordinator. It was Texas Tech getting on the board first. Touchdown run over the middle by SaRodorick Thompson. Jet Duffy then into the back of the end zone. McLean Mannix. And then it's the touchdown plunge by Carter Stanley to get Kansas on the board.
Yeah, Tech moving the ball really well most part of this game, and Kansas offense struggled a little bit. And before last drive, we felt, hey, you got to get Carter Stanley into rhythm. And Stephon Robinson steps up and makes a big play down the field when there's some miscommunication and coverage on the back end. Defense steps up, and now Carter Stanley looks to be in rhythm again. And let's not forget, we got Puka Williams back there too. Now with this deficit and them keying on him and trying to take him away, there should be some easy completions on the perimeter, and that's what they're capitalizing so far on this drive.
Look at the total yardage numbers there. 159 now for Kansas as they are going to work here from the 48. Another pass over the middle, on target by Stanley. It's Stephon Robinson, another huge play. This one is a touchdown. A 48-yard score from Stephon Robinson.
And Dan, what a throw by Carter Stanley over the middle of the field to a receiver running horizontally across the middle of the field on the dig route. And great anticipation. Receiver Stephon Robinson never has to break stride. He makes the catch in traffic and shows the speed afterwards. What a play by the quarterback and the receiver.
And Adrian Fry was draped all over him. That was an absolute laser beam from Carter Stanley. Liam Jones with the extra point. A 3-point ball game with under a minute to go here in the first half. Man, Kansas has picked up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, he pushes this thing up the field. Ends up running that little middle read route across the middle of the field. Gets behind the defender in the zone. You talk about receivers catching the ball with their hands over the middle of the field and snatching it out of the air. He waits for that to come to his body. Probably doesn't get caught because he's got a guy draped all over him. Great strong hands. Finishes it from there. Big time play. The issue for Texas Tech is you let this offense get some confidence back. They had some issues in the beginning of this game, but coming off last week, they're feeling pretty good about themselves. And we see Carter Stanley there. Yeah, he's ready to roll.
They have looked like a completely different offense these last couple of drives. Stephon Robinson, the second leading receiver for the Jayhawks coming into the game. 3 catches for 108 yards already after that 48-yard touchdown.
Well, Dan, he had back-to-back 2 touchdown games coming into this game. Now, the last one was a touchdown, but it was ruled down at the 1-yard line. Should have 2 touchdowns right now. That's a good point. That should be his 3rd game in a row with multiple touchdowns. Been a big asset for them in the slot. Mostly a slot receiver, strong hands, good speed. Works well against safeties.
Tayshaun Henry takes it at the 9-yard line. Out past the 25, then the 30. Tayshaun Henry has some room, but we do have a flag down. Tayshaun Henry could take this the distance. Unfortunately for Texas Tech, it could be coming back. Flag down on the field.
That was a flag call.
During your return, holding, return team number 11. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
That is a tough break. Dante Thompson called here for holding.
Yeah, you see there on the left side of your screen, the tight end Dante Thompson. Might be asking yourself too, man, that's the starting tight end playing special teams, and that's what Matt Wells asks of a lot of his starters on both sides of the ball. Playing special teams and contributing. Just grabs on a little too long there. Got to let go when that guy gets outside the framework of your body.
So 44 seconds here for this Tech offense. They're going to keep it on the ground. State Farm halftime show coming up. Mike Hill and Robert Smith are standing by. A lot to talk about today. Oklahoma upset by Kansas State. Ohio State doing their thing once again as the clock is still running. 21 seconds and counting here in the first half. Not a real sense of urgency on 2nd and 4 for Jet Duffy. He does take a shot downfield. Flag down near the 30-yard line. He was looking for TJ Vasher.
Yeah, it looks like Mike Lee might have held on a little bit to TJ Vasher in the route. Interesting, too, they take that shot.
Holding. Defense, number 13. It's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
A double move here from TJ Vasher. Hassan defense, number 13, ends up grabbing on a little bit there. Ever so slightly, but it does slow down. Looks like TJ Vasher shells it a little bit, too.
Yeah.
Didn't think they were going to take a shot there. Looked like they might go ahead and run this thing out. Had an opportunity there.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they take another one with 8 seconds to go here. Ball on the 27-yard line for Duffy as the play clock winds down. Duffy just going to tuck this one and run. This will be the final play of the half. And it's going to go in the books. It's a 17-14 first half here at Memorial Stadium in Kansas. The State Farm halftime show is where we go now with Mike Hill and Robert Smith.
Every year, millions of working American families and their children hide their struggle with hunger. It doesn't need to be that way. Hunger hides, but we can help. Let's end hunger in America.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be just like Cal Ripken. It's definitely humbling to know that now people are calling me a hero. We were doing a push into Taliban territory. Instead of finding the IED with my metal detector, the IED found me first, and that resulted in double above knee amputations. There are people now that are looking up to you for their inspiration and to be their role model.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet
Good.
you.
How are you doing?
Meeting Cal for the first time was surreal. I mean, it's hard to describe the feeling of meeting somebody that you've always wanted to be like. You're realizing that there are people now that are looking up to you for their inspiration and to be their role model. And so it certainly is sobering. It comes with a weight of responsibility. It's so important that we continue to help veterans into the foreseeable future.
For more information, visit saluteheroes.org.
Without the letters A, B, and O, there's no mom. There's no Brittany. Because A's, B's, and O's determine your blood type. And we're missing all of them. Schedule your donation at redcrossblood.org.
Crashing waves.
17-14, Texas Tech on top of Kansas at halftime. Dan Helly, Evan Moore with you, and this has been a fun game to watch. Tech jumps out to that early lead. Couple of big plays from Stephon Robinson for Kansas, but Tech just continuously pounding the rock and turning out the run yards.
Well, Dan, with their experience up front on their offensive line and Kansas's inability to stop the run consistently, we knew they were going to pound the ball coming in. They've given SaRodorick Thompson and Armand Shine combined 20 carries on the ground. They've moved the ball really well, mixed in Tayson Henry a couple times, even given some keeps to Jet Duffy as well in critical down and distance situations, and it's also opened up some play action throws down the field for this Texas Tech offense.
Yeah, really running the ball effectively. And then we talk about Stephon Robinson. Probably should have had 2 touchdowns on this big play.
Puka Williams got going early, but they got down 17-0. They needed some explosiveness down the field from Carter Stanley and these receivers. And Stephon Robinson answered the call. 2 big plays, game-changing plays for this Kansas offense, giving them hope, making it a 3-point game at the break.
Take a look at the Geico first half stats. The time of possession certainly in favor of Texas Tech, the way that they've been running it. But we talked about momentum, and it seemed like that momentum from that Texas game, yes, it was a loss, but Kansas put up 48 points on the road against Texas, didn't carry over. I feel like they have that momentum going now. And we are underway here in the second half. Dante Thompson calling for the fair catch inside the 30. And Jet Duffy's numbers, relatively efficient, not attacking downfield a whole lot. Then again, that was the same issue last game.
Yeah, getting him some easy throws out into the flat. Last drive, they got him to 17. Some big plays over the middle of the field and play action. And the rollout to McLean Mannix as well. But SaRodorick Thompson has been a consistent force over the course of the game. And this Kansas defense is now without Bryce Tornaden, disqualified for targeting early on. Got to make adjustments and getting stops in the run game.
Duffy going to go to the air over the middle. That pass is complete. And it's Dante Thompson, his tight end, who has become one of the best leaders on this team. Devon Ferguson on the stop after the 28-yard gain.
Yeah, the senior tight end's a great story in this offense. And the air raid under Cliff Kingsbury didn't get used much. Big role in this offense under Matt Wells.
Keeping it on the ground to Sir Roderick Thompson. Breaks a tackle, picks up the first down inside the 20.
Oh, what an impressive run. Mike Lee is a very physical safety. He comes up, leaves his feet, and doesn't wrap up against a bigger back. So Roderick Thompson's 210 pounds. If you're Mike Lee at 175, you've got to wrap him up out in the open field.
Wrapped up this time, Azur Kamara on the tackle for Kansas. Yeah, Mike Lee is like a human missile out there, but he came up on the short end of the stick on that run.
Yeah, if you're going to do, you see a lot of these corners do sweep tackles, you got to go with the lower body. You hit him high, that's going to be a tough tackle to make.
Duffy, man open in the end zone, touchdown, T.J. Vasher.
Really well-designed play to their big red zone target. T.J. Vasher leads this team in touchdowns. Jeff Duffy's eyes initially go out to the flat. You watch T.J. Vasher here in the middle of this formation. He sells like he's blocking, comes off with a little bit of hesitation. The defense bites, they step up. He fits in nicely behind him for a really nice throw by Jet Duffy. Both of those touchdown passes so far for Jet. Really well-designed plays by offensive coordinator David Yost.
First catch of the game for Vasher in the books is a 19-yard touchdown.
And look, we've seen a lot of these throws out to the flat by Jet Duffy. That's part of what makes him efficient, right? He takes those easy throws. But at some point, you can get the defense to bite on it. His eyes go there. Vasher runs right by him for a big touchdown and a nice throw by Jet Duffy.
Support your favorite college at Fanatics.com. The largest assortment of officially licensed fan gear from more than 500 colleges. Every conference, every team. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Is your credit card debt stressing you out? Take control. A personal loan could help you crush high interest rates and reduce your monthly payments so you can get out of debt faster and save money. Whether you're a credit stud or a credit starter, at Credible.com, we help you find great rates from multiple lenders. In 3 minutes, get actual pre-qualified rates. Have the money you need as quickly as tomorrow and start living your life.
Visit Credible.com to see how much you could save.
I was the lead gunner of the convoy that we had. While I was suppressing fire, I felt a flick on my upper biceps area. They ended up reconstructing my arm instead of amputating. I don't have full use of it. Right after my recovery, I had to find myself again and see what else I could do to continue my selfless service. The coalition came to a handful of us with an idea of having a nonprofit that solely focuses on those coming back wounded from Iraq and Afghanistan. We would have the opportunity to help others that have been in our boots. Having an organization like the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, putting me back into working with wounded troops helped me to process my injury. Life is full of trials and tribulations. Life is full of ups and downs, and it's the way you handle yourself through those trials and tribulations. I'm Sergeant Mary Herrera, and my alive date was November 8th, 2003.
For more information, visit saluteheroes.org.
Welcome back to Big 12 College Football. Due to time constraints, we'll pick up action after these messages.
Let me show you a special place that's creating degrees of impact through innovations in wind technology and environmental toxicology. By advancing the science of biochemistry, agriculture, and water as a local and global leader in the arts, in a place where the passion for athletics is like no other, all in a unique landscape of beauty, culture, heritage, and pride, a place called Texas Tech.
Some things in your medicine cabinet are more dangerous than others. When it comes to prescription drugs, opioid pain medicines can be addictive and even deadly. keeping unused opioid medicines in your home is risky. Half the people who misuse prescription pain medicines get them from a friend or family member. Over 100 Americans die every day from an opioid overdose, and millions are addicted to opioids. But you can be part of the solution to the opioid crisis. Go through your medicine cabinets, drawers, anywhere you keep unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups, and find out how to dispose of them safely. Visit fda.gov/drug disposal for details and remove the risk of opioids in your home.
This anticipation, oh my goodness. There's nothing to compare to what we're going through today. Oh my, holy smoke. Oh my goodness, throw it down. It's out of here. That is a beautiful play. Now the crowd's having fun.
FS1 College Football is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage, by Quicken Loans. 24-14, Texas Tech on top of Kansas. Armand Shine in at running back as we start this drive. Duffy set to throw again, and again, complete over the middle. Starting to find a little rhythm. TJ Vasher, his second catch of the game after that touchdown catch.
Yeah, that's a big body over the middle. Does a nice job using his hands to bring in that pass. Friendly target for the quarterback.
Another quick pass. Eric Ezekama with his first catch of the game picks up 7.
And the differences you're already seeing this week from the Kansas defense relative to what Texas Tech saw last week against Iowa State. Iowa State does a really nice job using that soft shell and keeping everything in front of them. Kansas doesn't have that luxury tonight. They're struggling to stop the run. Got to load up the box a little bit more, getting some more one-on-one looks on the outside for Texas Tech's offense.
That's Mike Lee down on the ground right now. And don't forget Bryce Tornadin, the leading tackler on this team, made it through a couple of plays before he was kicked out for targeting.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, Mike Lee is an outstanding safety. He's a leader on this team. He's physical. He's one of the Big 12's hardest hitters all around. He sells out on every play. Difficult to see what happened there. He's okay though. Because boy, they're going to need him. You mentioned it, in the absence of Bryce Tornadin, looks like he's kind of shaking it off a little bit. Should be okay. In the absence of Bryce Tornadin, that leadership on the back end with him, obviously having to Hassan defense back there as well, is critical for this secondary. And that's one of their leaders right there in Mike Lee.
You look at him walking off the field, he weighs 175 pounds.
Doesn't hit like it though.
No, it's incredible the way that he plays the game. Can't not love it. But they need him back out there on the field with Tornadin already out. He's going to be replaced by Ricky Thomas, at least here for a couple of plays. 2nd and 3 for Duffy. Duffy looks to the right side. Nice grab. Had to go behind to get a little bit. Keyshawn Carter.
Well, Dan, they're going to force Jet Duffy here to make quick decisions and get that ball out. The last couple snaps, they've really loaded up that line of scrimmage. Tried to make Jet a little more comfortable, commit to the run a little bit, try to stop the run, and make Jet throw the ball down the field with some consistency.
There's Henry trying to find some room. Gavin Potter with a little tackle dance as well.
Yeah, watch Gavin Potter. He's the backside inside linebacker on this play, and he just chases it down with great speed. He's the unblocked guy. So if he's got enough speed to get there, they need him to get there to make that play, and he does a great job there for just a 3-yard gain.
TJ Vasher at the top of your screen on 2nd and 7. Henry remains in at running back. Duffy, deep. Up to get it is Vasher. pressure and then broken up. Looks like he comes down hard on his back. Elmore Hempstead, the DB in coverage for Kansas.
Yeah, trying to get TJ Vasher on the post route against Elmore Hempstead, the 5'11 corner. This is a 6'6 receiver out in space against a 5'11 defender. He's got to go up and make that play. That's a well-thrown ball, and that's where you want it to be for a 6'6 guy. Elmore Hempstead does a great job when he's on his way down, hitting that ball out. Exactly how you want to play it when you're giving up 7 inches on the outside.
Great play by Hempstead, the senior from Arkansas. You see Vasher on the sideline, so he's not in now on 3rd and 7. Flag down.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And Dan, I think a lot of that is a result of they're doing a lot more check with me's. Set a different way. Once you get set offensively, Jet Duffy turns to the sideline to get the right play from his offensive coordinator David Yost and their staff. Like he's doing right here. Sometimes that can take a little extra time. He's not usually making his own checks like we saw Alan Bowman doing. So we're seeing a little more check with me to the sideline with Jet Duffy, and sometimes that can slow things down a little bit for the offense.
And as Yost told us, he likes to take an extra beat. Low snap there on 3rd and 12. Duffy may be forced to run here. Still looking to throw. Launches one deep up the right sideline. And there's a flag down. Throws into double coverage, trying to hit Keyshawn Carter.
Yeah, it was an underthrown ball, and oftentimes an underthrown ball is when the receiver turns around to come back. There's pass interference, but I think this is going to be. But the near official actually fell on the play out of bounds, and he wasn't able to make the call, so the flag came from the official across the field.
Pass interference. Defense. 3 and 24. It's a 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
Hempstead and Ricky Thomas. Here's another look.
You see on the outside, Keyshawn Carter ends up running the scramble drill. Does a really nice job getting up the field, and Jet Duffy throws it out there for him, but he has to come back for it. That's a frustrating call if you're a defense, because it's not a very well thrown ball. It's underthrown.
Dalton rigged in on a fresh set of hands for Texas Tech. Devon Ferguson on the stop after the gain of 3.
I'd say that's easily one of the more frustrating calls in football, when there's an underthrown ball that a receiver's coming back for, and it is more coincidental than anything, and you end up getting a PI call on the defense. Incredibly frustrating. Lucky break for Texas Tech.
Duffy passed the 200-yard mark. He's now thrown for 202 yards and a couple of touchdown passes. Tight end Dante Thompson in the game. Keeping it on the ground here is Texas Tech. That's Shine. He gains 1 before Darius Moraney makes the stop.
And Darius Moraney, we haven't talked about him a ton tonight, but he makes the most plays in this front 7, especially that front 3 on the defensive line. And he pushes Travis Bruffy backwards and does a really nice job using his hands to make a play in the run game.
Jet Duffy on 3rd and 5. Going to hand it off, and that is going to be good for the 1st down. Armand Shine picks it up. 7-yard gain for Shine.
Where the guard, Will Farah, had pulled around in the hole to be a lead blocker for Armand Shine. And the hole was so big and nobody was there. He just kind of stood there. He's got to keep going because Armand Shine's coming up behind him, and he can still be a lead blocker if he pushes it down the field.
Shine and Thompson have now combined for 111 yards on the ground. Shine was the team's leading rusher the first 3 games of the season. Been battling some ankle injuries as of late, but he's healing up. Shine again. Nothing going there. Talk about that Kansas defensive front, and again, Gavin Potter, one of those in on the stop. He is a really impressive young linebacker, the freshman from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. 10th play of the drive. Here's Shine with some room inside the 20 for Tech.
Yeah, got to give this offensive line some credit. Good physical play up front. And this group came in with a ton of experience this year, but they've played in a different system the last few years under Cliff Kingsbury, learning how to be aggressive and play downhill in the run game. And we're seeing that tonight against the Kansas defensive front.
Mike Lee checking back into the game on defense for Kansas. Thompson on the ground picks up the first.
Several run plays in a row for Texas Tech, and this is what we saw on previous drives. Setting up a nice play action throw over the middle of the field. Something to keep an eye on as they get near the end zone.
They're going to keep it on the ground again. Thompson now inside the 10-yard line, 2-yard shy, picking up the first. The signs of fence on the tackle, and they're just kind of moving the ball at will.
Yeah, it's an attitude thing. They're beginning to wear down that front. A little demoralizing if you're the Kansas defense when you're running the ball at a clip like they are right now.
Again, on 2nd and 3, it's Thompson. He picks up 1, so they're going to be looking at 3rd and 2. Again, it was Moraney on the stop for this Kansas defense.
And as well as they're running the ball, this is the territory, too, where you got to keep an eye on T.J. Vasher. If they can get that safety to come down in the box and get that one-on-one coverage on the outside, they'll take a shot.
Moraney again. Big stop for Kansas. Does Tech go for it here, or do they settle for the field goal?
Looks like they're going to kick the field goal. Good job by the Kansas defensive front. We mentioned Darius Moraney as well.
I feel like a ball may have popped out here, Evan.
The ball does come out. Is there a clear... Question is there a clear recovery?
Devon Ferguson gets his helmet right on the football.
It's like 74 jumps on it, right, for Texas Tech?
Indeed he does.
Now, that plays under further review.
Will Farah, 74 for Tech.
And from our vantage point, it looked like Will Farah had jumped on it, and if he does, then even if it is ruled a fumble, this will be inconsequential. We shouldn't get any change from this. Difficult to tell. Obviously,
Mike DeFee going to take a look at it. We're going to bring in our rules expert, Dean Blandino from Los Angeles. Dino, what did you see here?
Yeah, so the ruling on the field was down. It is a fumble. We had a really good look at that. Then you have to go to the recovery aspect. Who recovered it? And the only way the defense can get the football is if we clearly see them recover the football. It looks like Tech actually recovers. So the ruling on the field, it'll become a fumble with a Tech recovery. They'll keep the football.
All right, Dean, thank you very much. Yeah, you can see from that angle, Evan, you were exactly right. It was Will Farah jumping on the football, so it's really not going to change much here for Matt Wells' crew. We were talking about Wells earlier, and the fact that he's able to bring over so much of his staff with him from Utah State. You were talking about buying. He says it's a lot easier as we wait on the call here.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The ball was fumbled and recovered by the offense. Short of the line of the game, 4th down.
So Wells has the luxury of not having to coach the coaches, which sounds kind of crazy, but
that's a big part of it, right?
Huge.
When you're building a program, if you're building your staff from scratch, so to speak, it's difficult. You're trying to get as much buy-in from them as you are from the players. He's got a clear mission of what he's trying to accomplish. And it starts with that coaching staff, and it carries over to some of the transfers, too. He did his research on each guy that transferred into this program.
Field goal attempt from 27 yards out is up and good, courtesy of Trey Wolf. 27-14, Tech on top of Kansas.
To a child battling a critical illness, a wish can feel like a dream. But with your help, it isn't out of reach. Wishes are an important part of medical treatment. A chance for kids to see themselves stronger, braver, To see that the impossible is possible. Wishes can give kids the strength to fight, to get better, to grow up. Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Some things in your medicine cabinet are more dangerous than others. When it comes to prescription drugs, opioid pain medicines can be addictive and even deadly. Keeping unused opioid medicines in your home is risky. Half the people who misuse prescription pain medicines get them from a friend or family member. Over 100 Americans die every day from an opioid overdose, and millions are addicted to opioids. But you can be part of the solution to the opioid crisis. Go through your medicine cabinets, drawers, anywhere you keep unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups, and find out how to dispose of them safely. Visit fda.gov/drug disposal for details and remove the risk of opioids in your home.
Get ready for the buzzer beaters, the fantastic finishes, the bitter rivalries. College basketball all season long.
Don't forget, before NFL games kick off tomorrow, download the Fox Sports Super 6 app and play Super 6 NFL Sunday for free. And you have a chance to win up to $250,000 of Terry Bradshaw's money. What's better than that? You can take TB's money?
You sold me on that, man.
Let's do it. Big NFL slate tomorrow. Big day in the Big 12 here. Tech now up 27-14. Kansas has some work to do, of course. New offensive coordinator Brett Dearman in his second game as the OC here. He was a star quarterback at Bethel University in Tennessee, coached high school for a couple years, and went to Auburn as an analyst on Gus Malzahn's staff, then to Arkansas Tech, and finally back to Bethel as the head coach last year. He was hired by Les Miles here at Kansas as an offensive consultant and promoted to offensive coordinator after Les Kenning was fired after that Oklahoma game. So this just game number 2, 48 points last week, 14 points on the board so far today, and this offense has some work to do. Catch made there by Puka. The numbers there last week against Texas, I mentioned the 48 points, 569 total yards, 310 passing yards, 6.6 yards per play. And Carter Stanley, career high 4 touchdown passes that game. Flags flying from everywhere.
False start. Offense, number 61. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Malik Clark, the left guard.
Dan, those numbers become even bigger what they did last week when you think about them in the context of the first 6 games. 48 points on the road against Boston College, but outside of that, they hit 25 points in any game they played. So some explosive numbers last week against Texas for an offense under new leadership.
Again, keeping it on the ground. Puka breaking 3 or 4 tackles, but it's not enough for positive yardage on this play. Well done by this Tech defense. Nick McCann finally wrangles him down.
Yeah, they'll rotate a number of different guys up front. And whether it's Broderick Washington, Nick McCann, who was an original starter this year and was kind of banged up. You saw Jalen Hutchings step in for him, number 95. Disruptive front under Keith Patterson, and that's their signature. He wants disruption in the backfield with his front 7. And he's not afraid to put that those safeties and corners on the back end on an island. Saw him at ASU for several years out in the Pac-12 with a defense that was always known for pressure when he was with Todd Graham at Arizona State. He's seen a lot of spread offenses in his time as well. Spent some time with Gus Malzahn at Tulsa, scheming against him.
We can see
got a guy down.
Player down, just trying to spot the number here. Might be Rico Jeffers. We'll let you know for certain when we get a good look here. Remember, Evan Rambo left the game earlier with an injury. He, of course, part of this linebacking core, as is Jeffers, and it is Rico.
And he's done a nice job this year. He got some valuable experience last year filling in for Dakota Allen. 71 tackles last year. Been a big part, starting inside linebacker alongside Jordan Brooks. Like you said, with Evan Rambo out, he's a critical part of what they're doing. They play that 3-3 stack, 3 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers. Keith Patterson giving it a little thought as to how he's going to, at least for now, replace Rico Jeffers.
Keith Patterson at Utah State last year. Both of the coordinators, offensive and defensive, David Yost and Patterson, coming over with Matt Wells from Utah State. That's part of the luxury of not having to coach the coaches. Braden Stringer checking in for Jeffers. 2nd and 16 for Carter Stanley. Quick pass over the middle. That's complete.
Pass complete to number 4, Andrew Parchment.
Andrew Parchment hauling it in for a gain of 6.
And we talked earlier about the dilemma with Puka Williams and being down 13 points, trying to feed him as well. And these 2 high safety looks that you're going to see from Texas Tech really invites you to run the football. They're just in a tough spot because they need to push the ball down the field. 3-4 yard gains aren't going to work. Keep an eye here on what Brett Dearman elects to do.
Puka in the backfield. Stanley to throw. Has a man. He's open. Wouldn't you know, Stephon Robinson with another big play. And another touchdown for Kansas. This one from 65 yards out. Stephon Robinson has been off the chain for Kansas today. Should have 3 touchdowns. Now has 2. Has 4 catches for 173 yards. That's a pretty good yards per catch average.
Well, I think it's safe to say when Stephon Robinson lines up in the slot and he's one-on-one with a safety, let's just trust that and throw it out for him to make a play. He runs right by Adrian Fry, and a really well-thrown ball by Carter Stanley for another big play from Stephon Robinson. We're now at 3 straight games for him and multiple touchdowns, 3 games in a row. Been a huge part of this offense.
And the extra point blocked. That has been a problem. Zach McPherson looked to be the man who blocked it. Huge play from Stephon Robinson. Gets Kansas right back into the home, looking for their first conference win of Les Miles era.
Sports fans are gearing up at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Education was the top priority for my parents. Even now, I can tell you my mom never asked me how football was. She just always asked me about my school, how's my GPA doing, and my classes. I do want to make my mom happy, so me going to school and doing what she wants me to do is what makes me happy as a person. It's the best feeling in the world. When I first saw my mom, it's always difficult for me to cry, but when I saw my mom, it was tears of joy. That was a very happy moment for me.
Oh, hey, bud.
Oh.
Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
It's a school night. With Gary and Todd?
Yeah.
Not sure about those 2. I've been meaning to ask you. This is tougher than I thought. Is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
I hope not, because alcohol can lead you to say things and do things that you really wish you hadn't. Isn't this what you're supposed to say?
I know.
So if any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you.
Ryan.
Yeah?
So start the conversation even before they're teenagers.
Good idea.
For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Find out why people watch News On to get the latest news and weather from different areas around the country.
Shut down. 7's Jake Korf with the shocking details.
Over 200 stations, local news, anytime, anywhere. Watch for free on your Roku device today.
Welcome back to Big 12 College Football. Due to time constraints, we'll pick up action after these messages.
Some things in your medicine cabinet are more dangerous than others. When it comes to prescription drugs, opioid pain medicines can be addictive and even deadly. Keeping unused opioid medicines in your home is risky. Half the people who misuse prescription pain medicines get them from a friend or family member. Over 100 Americans die every day from an opioid overdose, and millions are addicted to opioids. But you can be part of the solution to the opioid crisis. Go through your medicine cabinets, drawers, anywhere you keep unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups, and find out how to dispose of them safely. Visit fda.gov/drug disposal for details and remove the risk of opioids in your home.
Can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov, a public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
I was the lead gunner of the convoy that we had. While I was suppressing fire, I felt a flick on my upper biceps area. Right after my recovery, I had to find myself again and see what else I could do to continue my selfless service. Having an organization like the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, putting me back into working with wounded troops helped me to process my injury. I'm Sergeant Mary Herrera, and my alive date was November 8th, 2003.
For more information, visit saluteheroes.org.
Check out these numbers. Texas Tech has already run 70 plays in terms of time of possession, nearly a 12-minute advantage over Kansas, and they are close to 200 rushing yards. Incredible when it's this close, really. You talked about the explosive plays. Kansas certainly has more, almost had one there. It was Kwame Lassiter unable to pull down the throw.
Yeah, we see the disparity in play count and time of possession, largely a function of Texas Tech putting together longer drives, but Kansas has been able to basically erase that with their explosive offense. I guess most specifically, Stephon Robinson. The big plays down the field, 2 touchdowns, and the third one setting up a touchdown. He and Carter Stanley connecting have been the difference in this football game for Kansas.
Puka along the left side, pushed out of bounds at the 41. 14-yard pickup for Puka. They have contained him relatively well on the ground.
Yeah, after 25 carries and 190 yards a week ago, they've done a nice job of bottling him up a little bit. Finding ways to get him involved in the pass game as well.
First down to the 41, ball over the head of Stanley. Puka's there to pick it up. And he's wrapped up. That's going to be a big loss. Thomas Leggett, first man there to make the tackle. We've seen this a couple of times from Carter Stanley last few games.
Yeah, Dan, it's a little bit high, but that snap should be caught. And I think the reason this happened last week as well. A lot of reads in this offense for Carter Stanley, and his eyes go out a little too early before the shotgun snap gets there and the ball goes right through his hands. And thankfully, Puka Williams is able to make a play. When that happened last week, Puka did the exact same thing and got positive yards out of it. Puts him in a really tough second down position.
5-minute running back. Stanley to throw. Deep. He's looking for Puka. They were taking a shot.
Yeah, now working on getting him involved in the passing game. Runs a post route. from the outside, and he's got a chance. He's taking this thing more across the field. Carter Stanley throws it more up the field. There was no safety on the inside of that to take that across the throw or cross-field throw away. And just a miscommunication. Carter wanted him to take it more deep. He takes it more across the field, and a misfire on a big opportunity.
So 3rd and 21 now. Stanley pressured, steps up, throws over the middle, has a man open. Andrew Parchment up the sideline and into the end zone. A 70-yard touchdown for Andrew Parchment, the junior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He beat Zach McPherson, the Penn State transfer, and they are an extra point away from tying this ballgame up.
Carter Stanley does a great job being patient and keeping his eyes up the field. And what happens is Jamarcus Ingram, number 22, falls down on the other side of the screen over there. You just missed it, and he gets behind Zach McPherson. But Jamarcus Ingram falls down, and I think Zach McPherson thought he had deep help behind him. See here, it looks like he stays in bounds for, again, a rough play on the back end for the Texas Tech secondary. Safety falls down. Zach McPherson thinks he has help behind him. And it's been the explosive plays of the Kansas offense that have completely changed this game. It's the 4th reception today of at least 48 yards for the Kansas offense.
All tied up at 27. Things starting to get exciting here in Lawrence. We saw it last week. Carter Stanley with 4 touchdown passes against Texas. His 3rd of the night against Texas Tech. You think Brent Dearman's pumped up?
Some things in your medicine cabinet are more dangerous than others. When it comes to prescription drugs, opioid pain medicines can be addictive and even deadly. Keeping unused opioid medicines in your home is risky. Half the people who misuse prescription pain medicines get them from a friend or family member. Over 100 Americans die every day from an opioid overdose, and millions are addicted to opioids. But you can be part of the solution to the opioid crisis. Go through your medicine cabinets, drawers, anywhere you keep unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups, and find out how to dispose of them safely. Visit fda.gov/drug disposal for details and remove the risk of opioids in your home.
Download the Stir app for free TV. It's 30 channels and growing. Classic shows, sci-fi, sports, hundreds of movies. Watch it anytime, anywhere. Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, your phone, your tablet. Download the Stir app for free TV.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
FS1 College Football is sponsored to you by Rocket Mortgage, by Quicken Loans. 27-27, all tied up here. Kansas looking for their first conference win of the Les Miles era. Texas Tech, their first road win of the year. There's Brent Dearman. You think he has just a little bit of energy? His second game as the offensive coordinator here for Kansas. He's a very energetic, intense guy when you talk to him.
Dan, I want you to keep an eye on safety Jamarcus Ingram. It's a 2-deep zone. He has that deep zone responsibility to that half of the field. And you'll see here, Andrew Parchment is kind of just running a little bit of an over route. and he just kind of improvises. I don't think this is a cold route. He comes back into that zone, and Jamarcus Ingram falls down. Now, Zach McPherson starts to get some depth, but that's not his responsibility. He's the underneath player. He almost gets a hand on it, but that is made possible because the safety falls down, and Carter Stanley keeps his eyes down the field and is patient and throws a great ball to Andrew Parchment.
Jett Duffy to throw. He's pressured. Eludes one tackler and then gets rid of it. It's Azur Kamara with the pressure, and we do have a flag down in the backfield.
Well, you feel the energy right now in this stadium, too. This defense has some serious momentum coming off that big touchdown.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 97. Blow to the back of the quarterback well after the ball was thrown. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's Darius Moraney with a late shove on Jett Duffy.
So again, you hear him well after the ball was thrown. Yeah, just not necessary. And Darius Moraney, senior defensive tackle, he knows better than that too. Just not a necessary play, giving him 15 yards.
Tech keeping it on the ground as they have for much of the game. Henry picks up 2. Sam Burt, the junior from Abilene, and Mike Lee on the tackle.
See the explosives down there at the bottom, Dan. That and turnovers are the biggest indicators of who wins football games. Both teams have been pretty clean with turnovers. Only one for Kansas, none for Texas Tech. Big disparity in the explosives category, and that's why we're looking at a 27-27 game, even though Tech has possessed the ball for most of the game.
28 minutes to just 19 minutes for Kansas, but those explosives are the equalizers. Tayzon Henry, hard running for the first down. Alvin Potter missed the tackle there.
It looked like he was going to get there and got tripped up by the turf monster a little bit. Wanted to make a play on Tayzon Henry in the hole. Turns into a big game.
206 yards now on the ground for Texas Tech.
And Kansas playing with that 2 deep safety look. That invites Texas Tech to run the football or in zone to throw these wide receiver screens.
Duffy with time, over the middle, pass is complete, gonna be into the end zone. It is Dalton Rigdon for the 48-yard score. A back and forth affair here in Lawrence, Kansas.
I think Jett Duffy might have heard us say, hey, the Texas Tech's offense hasn't been that explosive. And they get a big one right there. They cleared things out with the run action. Linebackers suck up on it, leaving a wide open hole in the middle of the field. 2 deep safety look. Dalton Rigdon splits the safeties. And a great throw by Jett Duffy in stride to Dalton Rigdon for a big touchdown for the Texas Tech offense.
Von Ferguson, Mike Lee, the 2 safeties out there. Trey Wolf on for the extra point. And from a tie game to a 7-point lead for Texas Tech. Plenty of time. We're just getting started here in Lawrence. What a strike from Jett Duffy to Dalton Rigdon. And again, it's a Tech 7-point lead.
Sports fans are gearing up at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Basketball is entertainment. The restaurant business is entertainment. Obviously, my name attracts the people, but the key to Clyde's Wine and Dine is the food. The food is not good, and your friends, your fans, and nobody else is coming back.
Brought to you by Tums. Fights heartburn fast.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
I was the lead gunner of the convoy that we had. While I was suppressing fire, I felt a flick on my upper bicep area. They ended up reconstructing my arm instead of amputating. I don't have full use of it. Right after my recovery, I had to find myself again and see what else I could do to continue my selfless service. the coalition came to a handful of us with an idea of having a nonprofit that solely focuses on those coming back wounded from Iraq and Afghanistan. We would have the opportunity to help others that have been in our boots. Having an organization like the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, putting me back into working with wounded troops, helped me to process my injury. Life is full of trials and tribulations. Life is full of ups and downs, and it's the way you handle yourself through those trials and tribulations. I'm Sergeant Mary Herrera, and my alive date was November 8th, 2003.
For more information, visit saluteheroes.org.
34-27 after the Dalton Rigdon touchdown catch. 89 points scored earlier today in Kansas between Oklahoma and Kansas State. 61 so far in Lawrence here tonight. And it's guys who haven't been super involved in the offense lately that are really chipping in here tonight.
Yeah, these inside receivers in the the Kansas offensive scheme. The Texas Tech offensive scheme have just not been as productive the last couple games.
And Kenny Logan Jr. making a move out past the 20 and the 30. Yeah, these Texas Tech receivers, there's so many of them. Yeah. It's so hard to keep straight, but Rigdon with a touchdown catch tonight, Mannix with a touchdown catch, and then you have the big guy on the outside, TJ Basher.
Yeah, over the last two games on the Texas Tech offensive side of the ball, those inside receivers, namely Dalton Rigdon and McLean Mannix, have combined for just 40 yards in each of those games. They wanted to get those guys more involved. We've seen Kansas's defense play a little more too high or too deep safeties, exposing the middle of the field a little bit. And Jet Duffy has responded and made some great throws over the middle of the field for some big plays.
And he has 3 touchdown passes for Duffy. His counterpart, Carter Stanley, with 3 touchdown passes as well. Tosses back to Puka Williams, tries to use his quarterback as a blocker there, spins his way up past the 40. Very close to him picking up the first down for Puka Williams. And I believe he does indeed pick up the first. Look.
What a special play. It's kind of like a toss power look. They're pulling around the guard, Malik Clark. That's not the way it's supposed to look. He's bouncing all over the place, but that's one thing he'll do. When things are wrong, he'll make them right. Puka Williams is a special back. Almost breaks that for a big one.
Stanley to throw again over the middle. And over the head of Robinson.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier the Kansas offense will do multiple personnel looks. You'll see them in 1 tight end, 1 fullback, 1 running back. You'll see them with 2 tight ends on the field. You'll see them with 2 backs on the field. Right now, electing to go in more of their spread, 3 receiver, 4 wide receiver sets because they want Stephon Robinson, number 5, on the field. And they want him singled up. Right here, they want him singled up on some aggressive safeties because they feel like he's going to win that matchup each and every time.
2nd and 10 from the 40. Pass complete. Nice move made by Charlotte. Great little spin move there. Alex Hogan misses the tackle. 21-yard gain for Kansas and Charlotte.
Flag down on the play, but if you look at Carter Stanley, gets it out quick, and look at this run after the catch by Dalen Charlotte. The Alabama transfer. 6 foot, 193 pounds, has shown some big-time ability in this offense, especially after the catch. Strong hands. Carter Stanley mentioned over the course of the week, too. He made some plays last week against Texas. He said, that's my guy in one-on-one coverage, and we haven't even seen a ton of him today. As good as Stephon Robinson has been, look for Dalen Charlotte to get involved, too, as we get down the stretch here in the 4th quarter.
Charlotte had that remarkable catch against Texas on 4th and 10 over Anthony Cook late in the 4th. Caught that 2-point conversion as well to tie it up.
Low block. Offense number 1, more than 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's a 15-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Costly penalty on Puka Williams.
Yeah, they're really being careful about these cut blocks today at all levels of football. And if it's not in the box, meaning at the line of scrimmage with offensive and defensive linemen, you really got to stay away from blocking guys below the knees. And Puka Williams is frustrated about it, but that's a point of emphasis for officials in college football and at all levels of football right now in player safety.
8th penalty of the game for Kansas. They're looking at 2nd and 25 across the field. Tipped. Parchment was there trying to catch the rebound. Couldn't do it. DeMarcus Fields, the corner, Taylor High School in Texas, gets that hand on a first.
Look, Carter Stanley's aggressive. This is a confident offense, but there's a reason your coach not to throw those balls across the field, because a lot of times guys will enter the picture that you don't see, you're not able to see from that far away. And that was almost disastrous for the Kansas offense. Got some energy defensively, right? Don't make a mistake here. It's okay to flip the field with a punt if you need to.
Stanley throwing on 3rd and 25, complete over the middle. Lassiter makes the catch. DeMarcus Fields on the stop. 19-yard gain, not going to be enough.
Yeah, and a nice play, and that matters too, right? You get those yards and you give him a chance to give Kyle Thompson, the punter, a chance to boot this thing and really flip the field and try to pin them inside the 15 or maybe the 10-yard line and give your defense a chance to go out there and get a stop. The defense has been playing with some more energy the last couple possessions.
Chuks Wabuka. Back to return the Kyle Thompson punt. Booth clears everybody out. That rolls into the end zone for the touchback. 56-yard punt from Kyle Thompson. Close ball game here in Lawrence. We're back after this.
I was the lead gunner of the convoy that we had. While I was suppressing fire, I felt a flick on my upper biceps area. They ended up reconstructing my arm instead of amputating. I don't have full use of it. Right after my recovery, I had to find myself again and see what else I could do to continue my selfless service. The coalition came to a handful of us with an idea of having a nonprofit that solely focuses on those coming back wounded from Iraq and Afghanistan. We would have the opportunity to help others that have been in our boots. Having an organization like the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, putting me back into working with wounded troops helped me to process my injury. Life is full of trials and tribulations. Life is full of ups and downs, and it's the way you handle yourself through those trials and tribulations. I'm Sergeant Mary Herrera, and my alive date was November 8th, 2003.
For more information, visit saluteheroes.org.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be just like Cal Ripken. It's definitely humbling to know that now people are calling me a hero. We were doing a push into Taliban territory. Instead of finding the IED with my metal detector, the IED found me first, and that resulted in double above-knee amputations. There are people now that are looking up to you for their inspiration and to be their role model.
Nice to meet you. Good. How are you doing?
Meeting Cal for the first time was surreal. I mean, it's hard to describe the feeling of meeting somebody that you've always wanted to be like. You're realizing that there are people now that are looking up to you for their inspiration and to be their role model. And so it certainly is sobering, and it comes with a weight of responsibility. It's so important that we continue to help veterans into the foreseeable future.
For more information, visit saluteheroes.org.
Texas Tech on top, 34-27. They have been running the ball incredibly well against this Kansas defense. 3 touchdown passes apiece from the quarterbacks in this game, but they're just chewing up the clock. You can see the time of possession there. We're looking at almost 30 minutes of time of possession for Texas Tech. They are taking a shot here and nearly picked off. Kyle Mayberry in coverage on Eric Ezenkama. He had a good chance here to pick this one off. Let's take a look.
Yeah, Mayberry does a really nice job getting his eyes around at the last second, almost able to make the play. But Dan, you mentioned it. Texas Tech has 206 rushing yards. They're just under 5 yards a carry on the day. I expected them on this drive with 10 minutes left in this game to eat some clock a little bit. 4 or 5 yards a carry and pound the rock.
Keeping it on the ground here with Henry. Stiff arm helps him break a tackle, but he is ripped out of bounds. Deontay Ford, and there's a flag down. Ford seems rather perplexed as to what he may or may not have done wrong.
See what happens at the end here if he grabs. Now, if you grab up near the nameplate, that's considered kind of a horse collar tackle, but with where his hand ends up, it's a difficult call to make from that standpoint. I don't think that's a horse collar tackle. They might be looking at something else, but the flag came out right after that tackle, so it's difficult to tell what exactly they're talking about. But if he grabs the nameplate, that would also be a horse collar, but he was well below that.
He was definitely below it. Les Miles discussing with Mike Defee and his crew.
Makes me think this might be on Texas Tech, given that Les Miles might have a decision to make here.
Personal foul, face mask. Offense number 26. That penalty's declined. Third down.
You see right there, he can do that if he pulls off right away, but his hand stays up there a little too long, and he pulls down on Deontay Fort's face mask. Interesting decision to decline it, though. Now we're looking at 3rd and 12, as opposed to 2nd and very long. Les Miles put a little faith in his defense to get a stop here on 3rd down.
Duffy with time. He's going to run it. And well short of the first down. Elmore Hempstead makes the tackle. So indeed it proves to be the right decision after that 8-yard gain by Jed Duffy.
Yeah, nice call by Les Miles, putting his trust in his defense, putting him in 3rd and 12 situation, keeping things in front of him. Elmore Hempstead stepping up and making a tackle and getting the ball back for the Kansas offense.
Austin McNamara set to punt. Kenny Logan back, but it's a short punt, bounces at the 40 and rolls down to the 30 before it's down by Texas Tech. 44-yard punt from McNamara. 7-point ball game, 9 minutes to go here in Lawrence, Kansas.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be just like Cal Ripken. It's definitely humbling to know that now people are calling me a hero. We were doing a push into Taliban territory. Instead of finding the IED with my metal detector, the IED found me first, and that resulted in double above knee amputations. There are people now that are looking up to you for their inspiration and to be their role model.
Nice to meet you. Good. How are you doing?
Meeting Cal for the first time was surreal. I mean, it's hard to describe the feeling of meeting somebody that you've always wanted to be like. You're realizing that there are people now that are looking up to you for their inspiration and to be their role model. And so it certainly is sobering, and it comes with a weight of responsibility. It's so important that we continue to help veterans into the foreseeable future.
For more information, visit saluteheroes.org.
To a child battling a critical illness, a wish can feel like a dream. But with your help, it isn't out of reach. Wishes are an important part of medical treatment. A chance for kids to see themselves stronger, braver, to see that the impossible is possible. Wishes can give kids the strength to fight, to get better, to grow up. Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Tech up by 7 here on Kansas as they're looking for their first road win. Kansas looking for their first conference win. It really has been all about explosive plays, and a lot of those courtesy of Stephon Robinson.
Yeah, some deep ones over the middle, some deep ones down the sideline, and then some great runs after the catch by Stephon Robinson. You want to talk about efficiency, 173 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns, and 43 yards a catch. These cover 4 looks from Texas Tech defense. Those safeties want to be aggressive. find giving him a chance to run right by those guys.
What a night for Robinson. Low snap for Carter Stanley, taken down in the backfield. That's a sack by Eli Howard. The snapping issue arises once again.
And we talked about them changing up offensive linemen quite a bit. This is Andrew Tovey right here. They'll also put Api Mande, number 58, in the game at center. I wonder sometimes if that's some of the issues with the snap. Some of those are Carter Stanley's fault, that obviously being a low snap.
That wasn't as low as I thought.
Yeah,
On second look, he should have had that. And that's 2-3 games in a row now where that's happened multiple times a game with Carter Stanley. 2nd and 20. Parchment on the catch. Is that just lack of focus? Is he think? I mean, there's so many things that go through a quarterback's head. Is he just looking somewhere else in the snap cone?
Well, we talked a lot about the RPOs and what they do in this offense and how his eyes go to that conflict linebacker. And he's making his decision after the ball is snapped. I think sometimes those eyes can get away a little bit and you lose focus on the ball. It's like dropping a ball wide receiver. Happens all the time when you start to look upfield. Got to get that corrected.
3rd down throw, fighting for the 1st down. Charlotte gets it. Tremendous individual effort there from Charlotte. Alex Hogan is the DB, and Douglas Coleman gives him a piece of his mind after the play.
Well, the ball's well located. It's tight coverage on the back shoulder. Dalen Charlotte makes the play, and look at that strength to get those extra yards. Big strong receiver at 195 pounds on the outside for Kansas.
Take the handoff to Puka. Stanley going deep again. And nothing open there on the left side, or the right side, rather.
Yeah, that's the recipe right now for the Kansas offense. They are taking some shots. That time they put Stephon Robinson on the outside. He's been working mostly from the slot today. They're getting in these 2 wide receiver sets now. They want to keep him in the game, so they have him on the outside up at the top of your screen.
Look at Dearman.
Trying to find some matchups for him.
Dialing up the plays for his offense. Here's Puka. And a pinball machine once again. This time he's not able to bounce out of the tackle of Jalen Hutchings.
Yeah, the redshirt freshman, number 95, Jalen Hutchings. He's really come on the last few weeks. This coaching staff loves his effort and the way he's played.
Big 3rd down play, 3rd and 14 now for Carter Stanley, 4 wide receivers, and Puka Williams in the backfield. Carter with time, sets and throws, pass complete, 1st down picked up by Andrew Parchment.
Dan, right before that play goes off, I'm thinking to myself, okay, Texas Tech is going to rush 3. What happened last time they did this? They weren't able to get to the quarterback, and he finds Andrew Parchment down the sideline for a huge gain. You watch right here, 3 rushers. And if you can't get home with 3, you just give him so much time to find that zone window. They're playing zone behind it. It's a lot to ask of your defenders to sit back with all these receivers running around in space. And it's the eyes of Carter Stanley that end up making the difference on that play and using his legs to extend it with his arm.
And it's Parchment who's being helped up now. Pops up pretty quickly, jogs off the field, so it looks like he's going to be okay.
Number 4, Andrew Parchment.
They love Parchment because they can just line him up anywhere on the field. Leading receiver coming into the game. Parchment tonight, 7 catches for 108 yards, so it's not just Robinson doing some work.
Yeah, he's a big weapon on the outside, 6'2". He's a long frame, catches the ball well away from his body, 6 touchdowns on the year.
Here's Puka. Rico Jeffers saves what could have been a really big play there. Going to go in the books as a 7-yard gain. I love the running style of Puka. I know everybody compares that kind of deliberate, wait a second, set up your blocks running style to Le'Veon Bell. They're obviously different runners, but
anytime someone jump cuts, we talk about Le'Veon Bell, right? Well, he's got great patience, and there is a little bit of jump cut to it, like right there.
Yep. Another 1st down for Kansas.
And he's got great patience and great burst in the hole. And then when he approaches contact, he has a really unique way of kind of being elusive and turning his body and not taking too many big hits. Just has a knack for running the football. A ton of athletic ability to go with it.
Yeah, you don't get a direct hit on him. He's too slippery, almost impossible.
But he will seek contact too, which is kind of counterintuitive for his size.
Stanley on first down. Completes the pass to James Sosinski, the big 6'7" tight end from Chandler, Arizona.
Yeah, we wondered if we'd see more of him today, given the issues that Texas Tech had stopping Iowa State's tight end last week. Relatively limited role in the passing game, but a big body, especially over the middle of the field, that gives them some options.
Belton Gardner in at running back. He gets the ball at 2nd and 5. Some room for Gardner. Gardner inside the 10. Touchdown Gardner. 32-yard score.
Boy, this offensive line has found its rhythm up front. And Belton Gardner steps in and makes the most of his opportunity. Only 8 carries on the year coming into today. 1 carry last week, gets a nice hole from the offensive line, and he takes care of the rest. You watch him put his foot in the ground and go right by Douglas Coleman out in space. The true freshman from Dallas, Texas, making a big play in a big moment for Kansas's offense.
Remember, they had an extra point blocked earlier, not here. So once again, it's a tie ball game here in Lawrence. 68 combined points. The latest touchdown coming from a true freshman from the great state of Texas, Belton Gardner. Spelling Puka Williams, and Carter Stanley says, let's go!
Every year, millions of working American families and their children hide their struggle with hunger. It doesn't need to be that way. Hunger hides, but we can help. Let's end hunger in America.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
Trisha's having a sleepover tonight. Can I go?
I wonder about Lucy's friends. What should I say? I know you're only 10, but one of these days a friend will offer you a drink. And alcohol at your age can lead to so many things. None of them good.
So can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me
I
something.
finished my homework.
Bigger promise. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, no thanks, not my thing.
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
Sure.
Really?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
50 seconds and play 32-yard touchdown.
You know, Evan, it's a shame we don't have a good game for people to watch here in Lawrence, Kansas tonight. Back and forth here in the second half. You can see the emotion on the Kansas sideline, looking for their first conference win of the year. The first conference win for new head coach Les Miles. They get a touchdown from a true freshman. We're all tied up at 34. Texas Tech has been running the ball the entire game. Over 200 yards on the ground, 212 to be exact. Coming up next, anything can happen in the Pac-12 after dark. I can't wait for this next game that we're going to be talking about momentarily. The kickoff. Going to go out to the 25. Keyshawn Carter calls a fair one. Yeah, Pac-12 after dark. Cal going for the upset against number 12 Utah. You can catch all the action on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. You know the Pac-12 well. Evan Moore, what do you expect in this one?
It's going to be a good one. The question is whether Cal can generate offense. They're going to start a true freshman quarterback in Spencer Brash. And Utah, boy, that defense, that front seven, without question, one of the best in the country. And a lot to play for, and being only a one-loss team, fighting for a chance to be the Pac-12 champion.
Quality football all day long. All tied up at 34, just over 5 minutes to go. So Roger Thompson in it, running back for Texas Tech. Duffy goes to the air, that's complete. And just shy of the first down is Dalton Rigdon. 9-yard gain for Rigdon.
Yeah, some of these out-breaking routes with two deep safeties for Kansas are kind of gimmies for Texas Tech's offense. It's going to be on Jet Duffy to continue to take those as they become available.
Tech looking at 2nd and 1. Keep an eye on TJ Vasher if they decide to surprise this Kansas defense and take a shot.
He's on the island down here.
They go to the other side and unable to hold on. So Roger Thompson. Gavin Potter was right there.
Nice job by the Kansas defense. They were trying to single up Devon Ferguson down the field and run right by him. Jet's eyes went deep. I thought he was going to let it go, but it was good coverage by Devon Ferguson. The safety who's backing up Jeremiah McCullough, who was hurt last week, and that was a big loss for this defense.
Texas Tech 10-0 here at Kansas Memorial Stadium. 3rd and 1 for the Red Raiders. And the Kansas defense coming up big. Jelani Brown in the middle of that pile of blue.
Well, what an outstanding play by the nose tackle, Jelani Brown. See him right there over the ball, right in the middle of the formation. His hands get inside immediately off the snap, and he controls the center from the very beginning, sheds him and makes a play. He's the difference in that play. Big time play from the Kansas defensive front.
We talked about Kansas being unable to stop the run coming into the game. They've allowed 223 yards per game, 212 tonight, but when they needed to the most, they certainly did right there. Fair catch called for by Kenny Logan Jr. 46-yard punt by McNamara.
Boy, Dan, and that's been the theme. You think back last week, too, against Texas. The defense stood up and got some critical stops, some turnovers late in the game, Sam Ehlinger interception. And then tonight, when they needed the most, these last 2 drives, how about the energy from this Kansas defense? After having its struggles over the course of the night, DJ Elliott gets his guys to rise up 2 straight possessions and get the ball back for this offense. And a chance to go down and take the lead late in the game.
Talk about Texas Tech being perfect here in Lawrence, 10-0 all time. The last win for KU against Tech, 2001.
Now, you think Kansas doesn't know that too?
Oh, absolutely.
They're all aware of that. Now, Les Miles hadn't been here long, but I promise you he brought that up in team meetings. Probably something along the lines of, this program thinks they own you here, especially in Lawrence. Let's change that narrative here.
It's Puka Williams hurdling his fullback out past the 30. Rico Jeffers on the tackle after the gain of 5.
Yeah, it was a really nice job by Rico Jeffers holding contain and keeping that outside arm free. Puka really wanted to stress and get outside of him to the sideline, and that's where the big plays come for him. Rico Jeffers does a nice job funneling him back inside to where his help is.
Stanley going to throw, eludes some pressure, tries to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he does. It's Jordan Brooks in pursuit. Actually, kind of a nice play by Stanley to avoid the sack. 3rd and 5 coming up. Huge third down as we look at the third down conversion numbers. Pretty solid for Kansas.
This is where Brent Dearman shines. Where can he find the matchup for Carter Stanley that they like with this aggressive defense? Up at the top of the screen, you got Stephon Robinson up in the slot right here. Can they take advantage of that matchup again?
See what Brent Dearman dials up. What do you know? You called it. First down, Stephon Robinson.
Well, he's even surprising us up here. We thought they might go to Stephon Robinson.
As he limps off the field.
There. Really well-designed play. He comes in and fakes like he's blocking for the bubble. Ends up coming over the middle of the field, replacing the blitzer. And a good decision by Carter Stanley. A good job securing the football by Stephon Robinson.
So Quan Hampton checks in now at wide receiver for Kansas. Redshirt sophomore from Texarkana, Texas. And this time it's Charlotte. Just over 2 minutes to go in the game. Rico Jeffers on the stop. Gain of 5 for Kansas.
Brent Dearman finding some rhythm here. Remember last drive, they had a ton of success throwing the ball over the course of the game with explosive gains. They went a little more towards the running game last drive and took advantage of some open holes because of their explosive plays. And now we're seeing some quick throws and rhythm throws by Carter Stanley. They look like they're setting up for a nice drive here on offense.
How about a quick game break in LA? Amber Theo Harris, what do you have?
All right, Dan to the big house, another top 10 team on the ropes today. Number 8 Notre Dame at number 19 Michigan. Third quarter, Shea Patterson, 8 yards to Donovan Peoples-Jones. 24-7 Michigan with a little less than 2 minutes left in the third. Would be a big win for the Wolverines, Dan, if they can hold on.
For those of you looking for Cal at Utah, we're going to get you out there right after this game is over. In the meantime, that game is available on FS2 and streaming live on the Fox Sports app. Thomas Leggett, a little banged up. He was the injured player for that Texas Tech defense. 2nd and 5 now. Puka Williams, another patient run, but he is thrown down by Jordan Brooks. Might have gained a yard.
Something to keep in mind here too, Dan. Kicker Liam Jones for Kansas. His range is about 50 yards. So for a game-winning field goal chance, you got to think they're not going to be comfortable until they get at least inside the 35. Got some plays to make before they're in that range, but something to keep in mind.
Third and 4. Pass complete. Lassiter. First down, Kansas.
And again, it's that quick release of Carter Stanley. When he makes that decision, watch those eyes. When he makes that decision, that ball's out. Nice throw and nice catch with his hands by Kwame Lassiter.
Here's Puka, but again, he's bottled up by that Texas Tech defense. No gain. Eli Howard's the first guy there. 1 minute to go. All tied up at 34.
30 seconds.
30-second timeout called. Take a look at the Coors Light road ahead for Kansas. Taking on Kansas State up next on FS1. Looking forward to that game. It's a big rivalry game. Kansas State with a huge upset win over Oklahoma. That's the Sunflower Showdown. And then they have Oklahoma State, 2 ranked teams in Iowa State and Baylor. Take a look at Texas Tech and what they have coming up. Remember, both of these teams, the goal coming into the season for 2 new head coaches was to get to a bowl game. West Virginia, TCU, Kansas State just riding high. And 15th ranked Texas going to wrap up their regular season.
And the thing to note there, obviously today there were some key losses, but in the Big 12, but Texas Tech has already played 3 of the top 4 teams in this conference. And so at 3 wins right now, they're chasing 3 more to hit bowl eligibility in the toughest part of their conference. Or excuse me, the toughest part of their schedule is behind them.
Yeah, coming into this game, they had the 5th toughest schedule in the country. And they're going to need to win 3, including this game, out of their last 6 to get bowl eligibility. Carter Stanley's complete. It's inside the 40, down to the 30-yard line. Lassiter again with a big catch for KU. A 20-yard gain for Lassiter.
And Texas Tech playing these two deep safety looks, playing softer in coverage, and Carter Stanley's doing a really nice job of finding things in the underneath coverage and getting really good run after the catch from his receivers.
Stanley again complete. It's Robinson, 2 yards shy of the first down, 40 seconds on the clock. Over 400 passing yards for Carter Stanley.
And now they're comfortably within the field goal range for Liam Jones. Just over a 41 yards from here. They are comfortably in his range.
They'd like to make it a little more comfortable, like a lazy boy chair. Gained about a yard there, so they're going to be looking at 3rd and 2. Clock's winding down. They call timeout. You can see Les Miles signal for the timeout there.
Texas Tech takes its first timeout. That'll be a 30-second timeout.
Time now for the smoking player of the game, sponsored by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef? No beef tonight with Carter Stanley, I can tell you that much. 415 yards, 3 touchdown passes. Stanley has been terrific, especially in the second half.
Boy, they have been explosive in the passing game. We've noted that several times. That's been the difference in this game for Kansas. They've taken advantage of opportunities. Some of them on shorter throws, and some of them with Carter Stanley extending plays and keeping his eyes down the field, like right here to Andrew Parchment down the sideline for a huge play. And now on a final drive, he's been very efficient, and he's put them in field goal range. Now keep in mind, last week Liam Jones missed a 46-yarder against Texas. He had a blocked field goal, and he had a blocked extra point. So there were some issues. Now I can promise you Brent Dearman and Les Miles are well aware of that. A long memory when it comes to stuff like that, so they want to make this as comfortable as they can. And with 2 timeouts, they should be able to get a couple more plays off and make this a comfortable field goal for Liam Jones.
Low snap on 3rd and 2. Quick pass out to Parchment. He can't hold on.
And if you get the right look with a couple timeouts, you can hand that ball off to Puka Williams, get some extra yards, center the ball, whatever it is you're looking for. They're going to take a chance now. On 4th down, here it is with Liam Jones.
What's going through his head? Had some important makes last week. Had a big miss. This one going to be from 40 yards out. Had an extra point blocked.
Number 46, Liam Jones. And 40-yard
Liam Jones, as the timeout is called to ice him with the most important kick of his career.
Calls his second timeout we'll have. 30-second timeout.
Logan Klussman, the snapper. Donovan Gagnon, the holder. And here's last week. This is tonight when he has the extra point blocked, and then last week.
Yeah, last week
he had the blocks. There was an issue as well, and it's something as a kicker.
Yep.
That must be constantly rolling through your head in these
situations. Look, I mean, no one envies their position they're in. This is a difficult job. There's a lot of pressure on these guys in these moments. And yeah, this is their job. Make the kick. Not an easy thing to do. And this would be great redemption for him, especially based off how things played out last week and the kicking issues they had. And Les Miles is very confident in him. It's very clear yesterday when we got a chance to talk to him about his kicker. He said, look, I feel really good about him. He's going to get a chance to make a big kick tomorrow night. And here we are, right here with a chance for redemption.
Just 13 seconds to go. Liam Jones, the junior from Choctaw, Oklahoma, from 40 yards out. And the kick is blocked. Zach McPherson pitches it back. And it's recovered by Kansas. 1 second on the clock. 1 second to go in this ball game.
Dan, in a situation like that, I think Zach McPherson thought the time had run out and he wanted to turn it into a rugby play. Little did he know, there's looking at Matt Wells. He's thinking, oh my gosh.
He's absolutely dumbfounded.
There was still time on the clock.
The wheel is that the ball was recovered by Kansas. Please set 2 seconds on the clock. The clock will start on the snap.
And you know exactly what he's thinking. He's thinking the time's at 0. I'm going to play rugby with this thing and try to get there. And protection unit breaks down. You got to keep an eye on there too on the left side of your screen is Adrian Fry leaping and using defenders.
Kansas,
a little bit of leverage.
Second time out of the half. This will be 30 seconds.
Oh, Douglas Coleman, the senior, leads the country in interceptions.
Yeah, Douglas Coleman, excuse me. Again, he wants to turn it into a rugby play. He thinks the game's over, wants to give his guys a chance for a return, knowing there's nothing but offensive linemen on the field for Kansas and their kicking unit. You get the intent, but just not a smart play, especially given there's time left on the clock. Just eat that thing and take it to overtime. And now Liam Jones is going to get one more chance, but they got to figure out these protection issues because the right side of that line, Adrian Fry came screaming in there for an easy look. A number of guys did. There was breakdowns across the board. And they got to shore things up with special teams coach Mike Eckler on the sideline and do it quick.
A 32-yard kick, new life, a second chance now for Liam Jones. And the final timeout called by Coach Wells.
Takes his third and final timeout of the half. It'll be a one-minute
What a wacky game. I mean, this is incredible.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And
you couldn't have drawn up a more weird ending to this game than what we were seeing.
Yeah, and I feel for Douglas Coleman. Look, he's a terrific player. Leads the country in takeaways. He's such a big reason for success with Texas Tech so far this year on defense. And the moment just gets the better of him and he makes a mistake that he's really going to regret. And gives Liam Jones one more crack at this thing.
Could have just run out the clock. Here's Coleman.
Yeah, it looked like
pitching it back.
He actually got his arm hit too, which kind of redirected the pitch.
It was Chris Hughes.
Yeah.
It was Chris Hughes that got his hand in there, the big right guard from Harker Heights, Texas. And that changes the direction of this game.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, again, it's the awareness thing and knowing how much time is on the clock. I feel for Douglas Coleman. That's a tough position to be in. Not a smart play, but
field goal formation
he's trying to make a play.
46,
Unique situation.
Kansas, as we've mentioned, looking for their first Big 12 win under Les Miles. They have 6 conference wins in the last decade. This would be huge. Liam Jones from 32.
The kick is good. The final score, Kansas 37.
What an ending for this Kansas football team. And you don't see this very often, but this is a monumental win in the Les Miles era, and the students are flooding the field.
And Dan, when you have 4 Big 12 wins in the last 8 years, this is what you get when you win a big game like this against an opponent you have not beaten in quite some time. And give this Jayhawk team credit for their persistence over the course of the game. It's the explosive plays and the defense stepping up at the biggest moments of the game. Les Miles got a little magic going with him, or he stays calm at the end of those games too, and I think this team takes on his personality a little bit.
There's a look at Liam Jones, the game-winning field goal from 32 yards out. Almost a look of relief that it went through, pointing skyward. Thanking the good Lord above for the opportunity to get another chance in Kansas with just a huge, huge win over Texas Tech.
Yeah, and Tech fans are going to point to the decision by Douglas Coleman and the turnover there at the end of the game to give them one more chance. And that's just a really good player trying to make a play. You feel for him right there walking off the field. Number 3, Douglas Coleman, leads the FBS in takeaways. And that's a moment he won't forget. And it's a learning moment for him, too. He's a really good player. He's going to get more chances. But for now, it's about this team in Lawrence and the belief they have moving forward. What an exciting game.
They say Kansas is a basketball school tonight. It's about Les Miles' football program. Their first conference win of the Les Miles era. For Evan Moore, I'm Dan Helly. The final score here in Lawrence, 37-34. Right now, let's give you over to Salt Lake City. It's Cal versus Utah. Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman on the call.
Introducing the Hometown Collection by Fanatics. Wrap your team in city with this collection of locally inspired graphics designed for the fan. Available at Fanatics.com. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Is your credit card debt stressing you out? Take control. A personal loan could help you crush high interest rates and reduce your monthly payments so you can get out of debt faster and save money. Whether you're a credit stud or a credit starter, At Credible.com, we help you find great rates from multiple lenders. In 3 minutes, get actual pre-qualified rates. Have the money you need as quickly as tomorrow and start living your life.
Visit Credible.com to see how much you could save.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Some things in your medicine cabinet are more dangerous than others. When it comes to prescription drugs, opioid pain medicines can be addictive and even deadly. Keeping unused opioid medicines in your home is risky. Half the people who misuse prescription pain medicines get them from a friend or family member. Over 100 Americans die every day from an opioid overdose, and millions are addicted to opioids. But you can be part of the solution to the opioid crisis. Go through your medicine cabinets, drawers, anywhere you keep unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups, and find out how to dispose of them safely. Visit fda.gov/drug disposal for details and remove the risk of opioids in your home.
Without the letters A, B, and O, there's no mom.